expected to support the bill itself if it had been given a floor vote.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports Amazon became the second most valuable company in the world on Tuesday in stock value, surpassing Alphabet, the parent company of Google. Amazon's stock market value increased 2.7% by the end of the day, bringing its total value to $768 billion at $1,586.51 per share. The stock jump was enough to pass Alphabet, which fell 0.4% for a total value of $762.5 billion. The milestone comes days after Amazon founder and CEO Jeff Bezos topped the Forbes annual billionaires list with a total wealth of $112 billion, becoming the first American to surpass the $100 billion mark. Last month, Amazon surpassed Microsoft in value. Apple has a comfortable lead at the top spot with $889 billion in valuation. As neither company shows any signs of slowing down, Wall Street analysts predict at least one of them may soon reach the value of $1 trillion, which would be the first for any company.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com.
Reuters reports a package bomb blew up at a FedEx distribution center near San Antonio on Tuesday, the fifth in a series of attacks that have rocked Texas this month and left baffled investigators searching for what they suspect is a serial bomber. Officials said the package, filled with nails and metal shrapnel, was mailed from Austin to another address in Austin and passed through the sorting center in Schertz about 65 miles away when it exploded on a conveyor belt, knocking a female employee off her feet. It was the fifth in a series of explosions in Texas in the past 18 days that have killed 2 people, injured others, and left hundreds of federal and local investigators scrambling to find the perpetrator and a motive. Speaking through the media, officials have appealed to the bomber to reveal the motives for the attacks. Officials have also asked the public for any tips, offering a $115,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the culprit. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Medical experts announced that an Ebola vaccine is at least 50 white people away from being developed. The CIA is now ready to install a female world leader, and a sex toy is discreetly shipped in a plain dildo-shaped box. Rising to the top of the video news summary game through an unstoppable combination of glad-handing and payoffs, this is the Onion Week in Review. Reflecting on his accomplishments and questioning his current abilities, the Lord God Almighty, our Heavenly Father and Blessed Savior, told reporters that he was no longer confident whether he would be able to create the world in only 7 days. He who commanded light to shine from the darkness admitted that the mere thought of producing the entirety of the universe from nothingness, a task he once completed with time to spare, had become surprisingly daunting, and added that creating a small, lifeless moon or asteroid now seemed like a more realistic goal. In this week's science news, psychology comes to a halt as weary researchers say the mind cannot possibly study itself.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free. Join us on the radio and take control of the airwaves at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. Skype username is LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio here tonight, it's Ian.
And Conan.
And Daryl.
Conan, welcome back to Free Talk Live. Always good having you on the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So at some point here, we're going to be hearing from somebody who was at the trial of Thomas Costanzo today, a.k.a. Morpheus. For listeners who may be new to the program, Morpheus is somebody that is a friend of Ernest Hancock. Ernest, who's the host of Declare Your Independence, which is a morning show heard on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. He and Ernest had worked together, and they came in. The feds raided this guy's house last year on 420, and it was all about selling Bitcoin on the internet. So this guy's going to trial. His jury selection was yesterday. We heard from Ernie yesterday about that.
I thought he also had some weapon charge and something else.
And then maybe put a hit on somebody as well?
I have not heard allegations about a hit. He was found with felon in possession of ammunition when they searched his house. So that's why they arrested him, because they weren't necessarily going to arrest him on the investigation of the financial so-called crimes. But when they found the ammunition, they put him in handcuffs. They took him to a holding facility. According to Ernie, by yesterday, they had dropped that charge. So he's now only facing financial so-called crimes for the alleged sale of Bitcoin. And he's going to trial. So he's the first person who's been arrested for selling Bitcoin that I'm aware of that's actually not taking a plea deal and going to trial. So one of the folks who's there watching that should be hearing from him hopefully in about 20 minutes once they get out of court and everything settles down, because they're in Arizona where court's still in session there right now. So stay tuned for that. Also on the way here tonight, Daryl, you're going to be telling us about the Austin bomber. In fact, that's where we ought to start. This guy has been terrorizing people in the city of Austin in a campaign of, I guess, just targeting random people with bombings.
Maybe random. The article here from the LA Times says that authorities found a list of future targets and a room in his home that was used to manufacture bombs. Investigators have discovered that the serial bomber who terrorized Austin in recent weeks had a list of future targets and had set up a room in his house to manufacture bombs, according to officials. After hundreds of investigators swarmed Austin in recent days to stop the serial bomber terrorizing the capital of Texas, it was a combination of high-tech surveillance and old-fashioned shoe leather that led officials to Mark Anthony Condit, a native Texan who had no apparent motive or criminal record. 6 bombs used similar components that made it easy for officials to link the devices. Unusual batteries, apparently purchased online from Asia, and nails used as shrapnel, according to U.S. Representative Mike McCall.
How did you pronounce nails?
You heard me.
Say it again.
So, hold on. I'm wondering
Nails.
here, because
That's what he said.
They said that he purchased, quote-unquote, unusual batteries online from Asia.
Yeah. There's a lot of Asian batteries.
Are batteries from Asia now going to wind up getting you added to some terrorist watch list? Because, well, this guy used batteries from Asia and you bought batteries from Asia.
Probably not.
So, therefore, terrorist
No, there's no real evidence that that's happening, right? I mean,
they said he purchased unusual batteries from
doesn't
Asia.
Mean they're going to create
and then
no
he
battery
made something
list.
go boom.
Well, maybe the
Right.
type of battery. Maybe it's some like those special camera batteries that you can only get, on a special counter at Walmart, or you do end up having to buy them online.
I think all that is, Daryl, is they're just saying that when they examined the device, or what was left of it, they found a battery from Asia, and it was likely imported rather than bought at
and they
Batteries
just threw it.
Plus.
They just threw it in the story to make it sound more sensational.
Yeah, I don't think you have to. I mean, if they want to ban people buying batteries from Asia, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but I don't think there's any reason to speculate about that.
And article says, trying to find buyers of the nails, officials went to every hardware store in the area to find buyers who had made large purchases, and they struck gold with a Home Depot store in the Austin suburb of Round Rock. The fatal mistake, according to McCall, the fatal mistake that led law enforcement to him, because he was pretty good at evading surveillance cameras, was when he walked into the Home Depot. Investigators obtained surveillance footage of Condit walking into the store in a wig, but then walking out to a vehicle with a license plate connected to his name. From there, investigators obtained a cell phone number linked to Condit, which had been turned off for a while until Wednesday morning. Condit turned on the phone, allowing investigators to locate him at a hotel in Round Rock, which led to a police chase that ended with Condit killing himself with an explosive in his red SUV.
So all he had to do was turn his phone on. Once they had his number,
there he is,
for him to track him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, isn't that nice to know?
Officials.
So he was smart enough to know to turn the phone off, but he turned it on for some reason.
And he also bought bulk nails from one store.
He just had to check Facebook, had to get in there and check his messages. Who knows what his excuse was for turning on that phone? I mean, if there's police out looking for you, and I don't advocate bombings, and I'm glad that they actually caught a real or attempted to catch a real bad guy in this particular case instead of arresting pot users and things like that. So it's nice to see the police actually doing their job. But if you are trying to avoid police detection and you have a phone, yeah, it's a bad idea to go ahead and turn that on.
Yeah.
At any point.
Officials who discovered a bomb-making room in his home of Pflugerville, and I think we actually know somebody that is from Pflugerville, still haven't offered any theories as far as why he embarked on a bombing campaign that left 2 dead, 4 injured, and an entire city unnerved.
Well, I imagine they're just now beginning to pour through his, emails and whatever kind of files he has on his computer. So if there's any kind of writings that he has created about potential motivations that maybe he was keeping to himself, perhaps, rather than posting to social media, some sort of journal or manifesto.
Yeah, there was some outlet who was actually comparing this kid to the Unabomber, except the one big difference is that there was no manifesto
not yet
available, not yet, and so it would be very curious to see if they do pull that up out of his wherever hard drive.
Yeah.
Officials said that at least one chilling piece of evidence after the hunt was over, was finding a quote-unquote target list along with, quote, additional addresses we believe he was using for future targets.
Right.
Even now, with a roadmap, figuring out a reason Condit picked the targets he did is difficult, with McCall saying, it's hard to make any rhyme or reason out of the victims.
It's like I said, potentially random attacks here.
Yes.
Even though he has a list, they don't appear to be related.
Investigators detained and questioned 2 roommates of the bombing suspect Wednesday as officials sought to determine whether Condit had any help in the string of bombings. One of the roommates has already been released, while the other was still being questioned, according to Austin police.
Now, there's an interesting detail and maybe they have it in your story, but in the Austin Statesman, the local newspaper there, it says that they relied on store receipts showing the suspicious transactions after they tracked him down from that Home Depot. Then they got a search warrant for his Google search history, which also added to, suspicious searches that he had been making as well.
Interesting. And this article continues. Officials also announced they had filed a federal bomb possession charge and arrest warrant against Condit late Tuesday, shortly before they wound up, tracking him down and he killed himself.
Now, is it said anywhere how he knew they were on his tail? Like what tipped him off to the fact that they were coming to get him?
There was, and if you actually listen to the daily newscast that I have for today, there was a plea, if you will, from the police asking the bomber to give them information about his motive. And they wound up putting out, I think it was $115,000 bounty for info that led to his arrest.
Well, he ended up being in a police chase, so was it when they came for him? Did he make a break for it? I'm curious to know how the actual end of this story went down. I don't know how well documented that has been at this point.
Or how much info they're going to release right now.
There's more coming up here, 8:55, 450, Free Like Freedom. You can join us here on the radio. It's Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown, not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You may dial toll free here. Bring up whatever is on your mind. The number is 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, you've got Ian here.
And Conan.
And Daryl.
Bitcoin.com, that's where you can go to get what the details are you need to know about Bitcoin. If you're new to cryptocurrency, there's no better place to get started than the basic information you'll get over at Bitcoin.com. But if you're not new to Bitcoin, you want to get the latest news headlines, for instance, they've got that too over at news.bitcoin.com. Once again, that's news.bitcoin.com. We're talking about the latest news out of Austin, Texas, where people there have, I'm sure, been a little on edge, given the fact that there has been a mad bomber who has been sending bombs to multiple locations over the last approximately 3 weeks, from what I understand. And just, I guess, today or yesterday, very recently, they went after this dude. They managed to find him based on a visit to Home Depot where he purchased a bunch of, let's say, bomb-related materials, perhaps some nails that they had found similar to the nails that were in the packaging or in the bombs. And,
makeshift shrapnel.
Yeah, and he went in while wearing a blonde wig, apparently, and that made him a little memorable, I suppose. Or they were.
I don't recall if it mentioned what color the wig was, but it did mention that he was wearing a wig.
Yeah. So anyway, the dude, he got, according to, because what I was wondering aloud about just a moment ago was how did the end happen? How did this dude end up blowing himself up in a car in a police chase? And according to the Austin Statesman, they did track the suspect's vehicle to the Round Rock area hotel. This was after he turned on his cell phone that had been off for some period of time. And police then began following his vehicle, and as the SWAT team approached, the suspect detonated a bomb in the car. Claim is officer had fired at the suspect, and another officer who was knocked back by the blast was treated for minor injuries. So the police, once he found out he was being followed, basically, was when he went ahead and set off his suicide bomb in that case. Was there more that you thought was worth sharing about this, Daryl, that you were able to find? Or we pretty much covered the story.
Well, the LA Times article is fairly lengthy.
Yeah, I don't know if that means it's worth sharing.
Conan, you had a question about was he homeschooled? The article says that he was. Also says that
get rid of homeschooling.
Was a self-identified conservative Christian who worked at a local manufacturing company before he was fired last year.
Who would Jesus bomb?
Nobody. Condit took classes at Austin Community College between 2010 and 2012. And he graduated high school in 2013. How do you take community college classes before you graduate high school?
There's certain programs that can allow you to do that. I know that was an option for some people. I forget what the circumstances were, but when I was in school in Florida, there was something you could do with that.
And get college credit as well. Sometimes both ways. Sometimes you can get high school credit as well as college credit. I remember those courses were available.
Yeah, I never took any like that, but
when I was around. But yeah, according to this, he wrote that paper at community college.
What paper?
A paper describing his political views.
Oh. Okay.
And the reason I say he's conservative is because he was anti-abortion, pro-death penalty. He was against gay marriage, but he was surprisingly he was all for removing the sex offender list. And I guess who knows why?
That's one of his former friends, according to the LA Times, and they actually have a couple of quotes from some paper that he wrote while in college. Former friend Jeremiah Jensen, who was homeschooled in Pflugerville and attended community college at the same time, said that Condit's blog posts for the class were, quote, being taken out of context in media reports.
According to the story here, he had described what was described as a significant explosive device. This is one of the officers, but would not provide any other details as far as the bomb that took him out. So he had a fairly strong bomb next to him and was able to detonate that while he was being pursued. So as I said before, hey, good for the police for actually focusing in and, doing some detective work and actually stopping a dangerous person. If this was all the police were doing with their time, was going after bombers and murderers and rape suspects and people who've actually committed violence against other people, it would be hard for anyone to dislike them. It really would.
Yep.
But because they spend so much of their time going after marijuana, underage drinking, just last
open
night,
containers.
Last night they targeted Vincent, who was one of our hosts. He walks around here in Keene, and he was walking home with Thomas Parisi, who was over here. Longtime listeners have heard him as an occasional co-host of the show as well. They were both walking back to downtown Keene together. They were, I guess, in the downtown area, and when they split up, the police then zeroed in on Vincent shortly thereafter. And he's a young guy, so they were pulling the what sounds to me like the oldest play in the playbook. They pulled up to him, got out, like 3 cops, very intimidating, and they said to him, they basically said you match the description of a suspect from some sort of incident at one of the convenience stores in town, and so they had questions for him. And, of course, I asked him, well, did you record this? And he said no. He didn't want to escalate the situation. I said, well, that's the problem is when people don't record the police, that's when they escalate the situation.
Correct.
Right.
And the fear that they would escalate because you're recording is generally unfounded. Now, there are some times when the police will go a little more insane because the camera comes out. There's no guarantee that it's going to de-escalate.
Right. Wasn't there the video
that
there was a video from a couple of years ago, I think Dio from Cop Block Radio from Ohio, he had a video where he had pulled out a camera and the cop said, I'm going to say, if you don't put it away, I'm going to say I thought it was a gun.
Yeah, I remember that. And that was caught on video.
Yeah, caught on video where the cop says, I'm just going to say I thought it was a gun.
Right.
I guess the easiest way to do it is just to explain it to the cops. Say, hey, look, I'm doing this for my protection and for your protection. So if anything goes down, I'm reaching in my pocket, I'm getting my phone out, I've done this 100 times, and I'm going to just push record.
And the fact is, the more that happens, the more the cops become accustomed to it. They're used to seeing people with cameras. They're not going to be as freaked out if it's happened before. And in a town like Keene, New Hampshire, it certainly has. The police, I'm sure, are well trained here on how to handle people with video cameras.
I guess not. I guess we haven't been doing enough filming of the cops lately because
didn't pull the camera
that's
out.
what I mean. But I mean, why would this incident have taken place last night when it seems like for many years the cops have been I don't know, they
pick on people, dude. Just because the activists are in town doesn't mean that we're out every single night. I mean, the cop block doesn't happen that often up here. In fact, it's pretty much dead nationwide in a lot of ways. But they're not going to mess with you or me in the same way that they mess with somebody who they just think is a college kid walking, back from some
and that's probably what it was.
Kid.
That's probably exactly what it was.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
And he probably had a backpack.
That's why I said to Vincent, wait a few days, check the police logs, and see if there was actually any kind of incident at the convenience store that they claimed that there was. Because it's the oldest play in the cop playbook, is to make up an excuse to question somebody and intimidate them. There's more coming up here in moments. 8:55, 450, free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by elevator speech. It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do, never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Our Skype username is LRN.FM, and we've also got Discord, where you can get into the Discord on-air call-in line room, and that is a way for you to call the show as well over at discord.lrn.fm. So, of course, you can bring up absolutely anything that you want in the studio here with you tonight. It is Ian.
And Conan.
And Daryl.
So, also want to let you know about Forkfest. It's coming up June 14th through the 18th, and it is happening at Rogers Campground.
You want to talk about Discord?
I love talking about Discord. There's actually Forkfest planning rooms on Discord.
Up until this morning, the only dealings I've had on that particular device are on games, using games.
Yeah, it's a gamer chat service is why it was formed.
Correct. I'm in a guild, and we do all of our communication via Discord. Yeah. And it's can be a little overwhelming. Because
when you say that, why?
Well, because we have like 30 different channels.
Yeah.
We all, and everything is, categorized.
How many people are in this Discord?
50 plus.
Okay.
In the guild.
Right.
So we're constantly losing people and gaining people. But it's.
Is it just for one game?
Just for one game,
Okay.
And that's what I mean. So I have one of those little circles on the side.
Yeah.
Is just for this one game, and it's a great tool for communicating with each other.
It really is.
But I logged into.
Did you just fork this live read?
I logged into the
the
LRN.FM Discord group.
You did what today?
Yeah, it's close to 500 members.
Dude, there's a lot of people in there,
and the channels are being created as we speak.
Not right now, but they've been created, and we could add or remove them as we need to.
Right, and it's just what is the. And I understand compared to, say, Facebook, which is more of a leisure activity, because you're not really getting much done, but you could still use it as a tool to, say, set up groups or set up events.
Sure, if you don't ever want anyone to see it, just use Facebook.
And the actual categories aren't there for you. So if you need to go get some specific information to better yourself, to better your game or whatever, you know exactly where to go and start a conversation. Whereas on Facebook, you just kind of scroll.
Oh,
cat meme. Cops are bad.
I quit Facebook at the end of the year, dude, and it's been great.
So what are your experiences with Discord? Have you ever used it outside of, say, a gaming group?
So I knew that Discord existed I'd never have any opportunity to actually use it because I just don't do online gaming. Every now and then I'll play a video game, but it'll be a single player game, so I don't.
And you play it online, so hence online gamer.
No, you'd only generally play single player games online.
You've been playing video games and streaming it on Twitch.
That's different.
You're playing games
what he's talking
online.
About, okay, but what he's talking about is Discord, which originally was created as a gamer app, meaning that gamers would be able to get into a channel.
Right, for people doing like World of Warcraft and
stuff. So they would get into a voice channel and they would be able to talk to one another, to assist each other while playing the game, to help if they're on a team or something like that.
And before that, all you had was stuff like TeamSpeak, which is still available. But
Discord was made as an easier version, basically, of a more powerful kind of version of TeamSpeak.
because of the other tools that come along in the package.
Right, like the chat rooms where it's just text chat and then they have voice chat. But anyway, the point being, Daryl, if you're a single player, you aren't chatting with a team on Discord, so there's no reason to use Discord for that. So I never really had any kind of real.
Hold on, maybe you want to get the cheat codes.
You just go on, just Google, man.
They have facts, frequently asked questions for that.
Game facts.
That's what the internet's had that since long before the advent of near instant voice transmission. So no, I didn't have any experience. I'd used TeamSpeak, but that's because we use it for behind the scenes on LRN. Mm-hmm. So when people who are remote show hosts connect to LRN studios, sometimes they'll use TeamSpeak to connect because it sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
And it's near to real time, right? So when someone says something, you're hearing it at about the same time that they're saying it. You need that for video gaming. You need that that instant communication. So they're both very, very good platforms. It's just that Discord made sense, and it was actually Stefan's suggestion from Ohio, who said, hey, I'll just spin up this Discord server for you and you can jump in and check it out, which, of course, anybody can do. It's not hard to go and create these things. You can just go and download it and create your own server. And but he did that, and I got in there. I'm like, yeah, let's try this out. It's something new, because we'd had an IRC chat for a long time, which is the old school internet relay chat. And it still does technically exist, but nobody had gone in there. It was taken over by trolls a long time ago. So this is easier to administrate, too, as far as, with the old chat on the internet, you had to do text commands, and it was like /ban, and then type the username. And
this one's just cut and paste.
You just
and
click and click, and it's
click and scroll.
It's just easier to deal with. So you have that immediacy of being able to have a chat room during the show, and before and after the show. And as you said, we've already got close to 500 users on there. Now, there's no way for me to get statistics that I can find to see, what percentage of the 500 users registered once, checked it out, never came back. What percentage registered, checked it out, and then come back every week or, every day. So I don't know how many of those 500 are active users, but at the very least, over the last 2.5 months that we've been doing Discord, I think it's been very successful. There are people in there every single night during our show talking about things. And as you said, there's other channels. So there's the Free Talk Live channel. There's Call to Freedom, which is the show before us on LRN.FM. There's also rooms for cryptocurrency discussion, ForkFest, which is where we started this discussion, and New Hampshire discussion, because we're based in New Hampshire. We want people who care about freedom, people who love liberty, to consider moving up here. So why not have a room to talk about things that are going on here in New Hampshire? And so sort of as needed, we can create new chat rooms in there. If you haven't gone into the Discord yet, you really ought to. Go to discord.lrn.fm. In fact, most of the time there's a little robot in one of the rooms that allows you to listen to the LRN.fm channel, unless the robot breaks, which does happen from time to time.
I was getting excited about robots using chat rooms.
Yeah, they have that.
But it's not that kind of robot.
They have those kind of robots, though. They have like different sorts of bots that you can bring into, say, Twitch chat room or a Discord chat room, and they do all manner of different things. So check that out at discord.lrn.fm. As mentioned, one of the chat rooms in there is for ForkFest, which is the event that's happening June 14th through the 18th. And that is a free event, meaning that there's no organization, there's no centralized committee that's deciding on anything. There's nobody who is in charge of the event, so no one could possibly charge you to attend it. However, if you are going to be going to Rogers Campground from June 14th through the 18th, you'll probably need some camping space, in which case you will have to rent that from Rogers Campground. So the only costs involved in attending this event are whatever the costs are that Rogers Campground decides to charge for those campsites. So So keep that in mind, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. It is, as I said, decentralized. So whatever you want to create, you should do that. If you want to see music and you can play music, then play some music. Or if you know somebody...
If you can play some music.
Yeah.
Not just up there banging on some pots.
Or, well, there may not be an up there because we're not going to rent a stage. There's nobody who's in charge of that unless you want to rent a stage.
The picnic table.
Yeah, right. You could just set up on a picnic table. So go to forkfest.party. You can link over to our forums and the Telegram chat and the Discord from there, which are 3 different ways to get in touch with the other people who might be attending Forkfest, June 14th through the 18th, the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire at Rogers Campground. We will look forward to seeing you there, forkfest.party.
Will there be robots at Forkfest?
I can't guarantee you. No one's in charge.
Will there be self-aware robots in chat rooms talking about Forkfest?
If you create it, then there will be, Daryl, because there's nobody that can answer the question definitively of what will definitely be at Porkfest. From what I hear, there's going to be a wedding on Sunday of Jay Noon. I hear that you're throwing a party with a bunch of free booze.
I never said that it...
Oh, you're not going to give it away?
I never said that...
You're going to make people work for it?
I never said that the booze was going to be free.
I apologize, Daryl. Okay.
But you got it free, right?
Yeah, you got a whole bunch of free booze. You're going to charge people for it?
Right, and then the money that comes in is going to be going towards my fundraiser for Team Innocence Project.
All right, so
same
no more
thing with
free
the
booze.
athletic stuff.
I apologize. See, this is how we're going to get things wrong because people are going to say that they're going to do something and it'll be misinterpreted. So Daryl got a bunch of free booze and he's going to sell it to you. Oh, wait, no, he won't because that's illegal.
I'll sell you a cup.
It's also illegal to give away booze in New Hampshire as well, I think.
I will sell you a cup that can be used,
and then the person could just take
for
booze.
Drinking things.
But theft is not all right either.
Yeah, that's a good point. So there's really no way that you can drink with others legally in New Hampshire and not break the law.
Unbelievable. I hate this place.
Yeah, so Daryl will be throwing a felony alcohol party in the woods.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
ID Stronghold wallets are different. They may look the same on the outside. They're stylish. They'll hold your cards and cash, but they're hiding something great on the inside. No, there are no pyrotechnics, and it doesn't sing when you open it. But it does have magical powers. ID Stronghold wallets protect your critical information and identity from thieves standing right next to you. Anyone can buy a cheap RFID scanner online and snag your information just by walking past you. Contactless credit cards, debit cards, even your work ID badge. ID Stronghold was the first to pioneer RFID blocking technology over 12 years ago. ID Stronghold's wallets, sleeves, and badge holders are trusted by the U.S. military and the Executive Office of the President, something the competitors can't say. Secure your identity and save 10% by using coupon code MAGIC at checkout for a limited time at idstronghold.com. idstronghold.com.
Free Talk Live.
But we have the opportunity. No one has the opportunity.
Look, just hold on. Just because the slaves can pick the head slave doesn't mean that the slaves are free.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Look, if people actually got up and voted for things, there might actually be some change.
People do actually get up and vote for things, and change always results in the same crap.
What are you going to do that's different by voting?
Two choices between crap sandwiches, man.
You're speaking out of both sides of your mouth. On the one hand, you're saying, oh, hardly anybody votes, so you can barely say this is a person of right. And then I said, well, gosh, if people get up and vote, maybe things will change.
Hold on, that was only one thing he brought up.
Here's
he
what
brought
I
up that
mean.
when people do vote, it doesn't make any difference because of a number of reasons.
will never vote in numbers that could actually reflect what
Why should I vote for any of these thugs? They're killers. They're murderers.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And I did mention earlier that we're at some point going to hear from someone who was watching the trial of Morpheus, and I think I might have gotten the times wrong in that. Hopefully that'll still happen here tonight, but that is related to the folks over at Freedom's Phoenix. Ernest Hancock, as I mentioned, is one of the friends of the guy who's on trial down there, and Ernie is the host of Declare Your Independence. He's also the creator at Freedom's Phoenix, which is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. If you want the newest and freshest stories and perspectives on current events from those who value liberty, then freedomsphoenix.com has that, and their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. It's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. That's freedomsphoenix.com. So let's see. You want to join the show? You're welcome to. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE.
So someone from the chat room just asked if I was an alt-righter because of my haircut.
A haircut, yeah.
So, I mean, so what other characteristics do alt-righters all share? Maybe is it the glasses as well?
Look, I can't
because I don't want to be. I don't want to be confused.
You don't want to.
Esquire.com has an article about the high and tight haircut that has been adopted.
All right, this
by
isn't a high and tight
neo-Nazis.
haircut. It's just scruff.
Okay, is that what it's called? Scruff?
Well, it's a bad. It's a head that needs to be
right,
shaped some more.
The alt-right haircut.
High and tight is a military
need to be shaved, and I don't know why Esquire's calling it high and tight, because the alt-righters tend to have slightly longer hair on top than what you would have in a high and tight.
But what about the skinheads? They still have skinheads, right?
Skinheads are different to where they completely wind up shaving their head.
I know what they look like, Daryl. I'm asking you, are they still out there? I mean, you look at Chris Cantwell, he's got a shaved head. So there's obviously more than one haircut.
Right,
maybe there's 2 or 3 or something
Richard
like that.
Spencer, probably one of the most notable.
He's got the high and tight.
He's got that thing. Augustus Invictus has the
here
thing.
Here it is, Conan, the Richard Spencer haircut. Totally shaved on the side, long and like combed over on the top, basically, right?
Yeah, I guess that isn't a high and tight. That's
not a high and tight.
No?
But
it's tight on the sides. It's tight on the sides, but it's the flop on the top. I don't know what you would call it. High and tight is more of a. It's a lot shorter on top.
Okay, I'm not a hair expert,
and it's a typical military cut.
Yeah.
Pulling up pictures of Adolf Hitler, he had a haircut very similar, although most people never thought about what his hair looked like because they were focused on the weird, goofy mustache.
Yeah. All right. When I look at you, Conan, I don't think alt-right. But then again,
You're probably thinking 5 years of long.
I remember you with the long hair. You had the shoulder length, maybe a little longer.
Longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got rid of that how long ago?
It was about a year ago.
Just a year.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was ready for some change.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll grow it back. I'm thinking of so we're talking about tight on the sides, but with the flop, I was actually thinking like kind of a Peaky Blinders kind of a thing where it is kind of
Peaky Blinder? Is that
these a bunch of Irish gangsters and they shave. It's actually shaved on the sides and they've got it's like combed over, straight over with but they put like goo and stuff in it. I wouldn't want to do all that. Too much work.
But here's a story from LA Weekly. The alt-right versus the LA hipsters. Who gets custody of the Hippler haircut?
Hippler.
During the past 5 to 7 years, the high fade has become a ubiquitous hairstyle, dominant even in big cities like LA. It's everywhere. Men, women, and non-gendered people alike have all glommed onto the style. It covers a lot of demographic ground. Though there are many variations, the high fade is generally characterized by clean lines and an attention to tight grooming, and is relatively quick and easy to achieve. When filmmakers in 50 years want to make a movie about 2015, they'll likely use the high fade as a synodoke for the social media-addled hellscape of this god-awful decade. As hipsterdom became mainstreamed in the early 2010s, the high fade became a popular go-to that was current while alluding heavily to the past. Seriously, if future generations were judging by photographs alone, they might think we were enjoying another swing revival at the moment. All of this is to say the high fade seems to have hit a saturation point. It's everywhere. This was written last year.
Let's bring back 80s hair.
Oh, they will. Just seems like all these old styles or whatever.
Everything comes back. It's all cyclical.
But the problem, remember from the 80s, the hole in the ozone because of all the damn Aquanet that everybody used in their hair. So we need to come up with a replacement for Aquanet that doesn't have the CFCs
deletion.
or whatever it was.
All of this is to say the high fade seems to have hit a saturation point. It's everywhere, particularly among urban, left-leaning 20 and 30-somethings. But the high fade's appropriation by libertarians and blundering figureheads of the so-called alt-right, which, by the way...
Please don't call them libertarians.
Yeah, I don't
They're not.
appreciate being lumped into the category at all with these alt-right people. They have nothing to do whatsoever with libertarianism. And then they cite Milo Yiannopoulos and Richard
Who's not a libertarian.
Spencer.
Neither one
they're
are
citing them
libertarians.
as alt-right, just
Okay.
to clarify here. But they're cramming those together into the same sentence. It signals an attempt by the white supremacists to reclaim this haircut and tie it to its Nazi roots. Or better yet, it's a way for crypto-Nazis to feel like OG Nazis. So the question remains, will the left turn on the high fade now that these morons are trying to hijack it?
And crypto-Nazi there is not Nazis that use cryptocurrency. It's crypto as in... Secret.
Bambi Saunders, the head of education at Rudy's Barbershop, gave me the rundown on where the haircut comes from, how it got so hot in recent times, and if the white supremacists can kill it. Let's go to Kylan calling from San Diego. Kylan, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, I was actually listening to, I think it was yesterday's episode, and you guys were talking about Steam, and I know you had talked about, okay, where does the files go if you upload video and audio? I just want to point out that they actually use a system that's called IPFS, which is short for Interplanetary File System.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know everything about it, but there is some redundancy. I think it kind of works like BitTorrent. That way there's no real centralization. But I kind of wanted to tie that in with I think there's news today coming out that YouTube was cracking down on gun-related videos. Did you guys see
really?
that?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh,
move,
yeah.
Or that news. But we did talk about, for listeners just tuning in here tonight, last night, we did discuss YouTube's policies cracking down on conspiracy videos, so-called conspiracy videos, not by deleting them necessarily, but by claiming they're going to be adding links to, say, Wikipedia to try to rebut some of the claims in the conspiracy videos, but also others have just had their channels completely shut down entirely.
Headline from Bloomberg, YouTube bans firearm demo videos.
No, really?
Yes.
Meaning from companies? Like Ruger or something?
YouTube will ban videos that promote or link to websites selling firearms or accessories, including bump stocks.
Wow. So if I just want to go get an AK-47 and go out onto a range and make a video shooting the AK-47 and then say, this was an AK-47 made by this company, that would be prohibited?
I don't know.
No,
They don't link
that's what
to...
it sounds like it might be.
Well,
promotion. Is it only by
they're
the
not
company?
they're not linking to a policy in
I
this
understand
article. They're just saying YouTube will ban videos
I'm not
that
expecting
promote
you to have the answers.
or link to websites.
Right. Promote a website. So if I mention a website where you could buy a gun that I'm shooting on YouTube, then in theory that might fall under the YouTube ban. It's very disturbing and very political, and exactly what you would expect YouTube to do in
The
this
National
environment.
Shooting Sports Foundation issued a statement saying, "We suspect it will be interpreted to block much more content than the stated goal of the firearms and certain accessory sales. We see the real potential for the blocking of educational content that serves instructional, skill building, and even safety purchases." Blah, da, 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 da.
Yeah, basically, as soon as somebody hits the report button, if it's gun related, sounds like there's a chance it could be subject to a takedown. That's disturbing, Kylan. What else did you want to share tonight?
Yeah, I just think, like you guys said, it's kind of like a recurring theme where certain viewpoints are starting to get shut down on social media on the different platforms. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Steam platform was created. I do think it's a step in the right direction. But as I do podcasts where I upload audio and video. Uploading to the IPFS is very difficult, so the user experience isn't that great. But I know the brainchild behind it, Dan Larimer, he's one of the guys behind EOS, and they're launching their blockchain in June. So hopefully that'll have some improvements because right now it does seem like people are getting their viewpoints silenced, and I don't think that's healthy for our society, right?
No doubt.
So here's something very interesting. The Bloomberg article says InRange TV, another channel devoted to firearms, wrote on their Facebook page they were going to start uploading their videos to Pornhub.
Is Pornhub going to allow that?
Pornhub was not immediately available for comment on the matter.
Pornhub's pretty leftist. I don't think that they're going to stand for it either. Hey, thanks, Kylan, for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you.
Thank you, Ian.
Yes, sir. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. You join us here if you want. Bring up what you want. This is Free Talk Live. Hour 2 is next.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene and the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, March 21st, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.26 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,314 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,983. Antiwar.com reports SJ Res 54, the Senate's War Powers Act challenge to the U.S. military involvement in the Yemen war, was killed on Tuesday by the Senate, meaning it will not get a floor vote. The bill noted that Congress never authorized the war with Yemen and would have compelled the U.S. to withdraw its participation. The bill did finally manage to get some debate in the Senate earlier on Tuesday, in what Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, one of the three co-sponsors, called a cowardly move. However, the Senate never voted on the bill itself, instead voting to table the bill without allowing a vote. The vote was 55 to 44. The bipartisan bill was presented by Senator Sanders along with Senators Chris Murphy of Connecticut and Mike Lee of Utah. The vote to kill it was largely split on party lines, however, with few Republicans resisting the leadership. Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee led the vote to kill the bill, arguing it would lead to a Wild West debate. The Trump administration largely resisted the bill, arguing that Saudi Arabia would be mad if the U.S. withdraws. The Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is in Washington, D.C. this week and met with a number of high-ranking senators before the vote. Opposition to the Yemen war rests heavily on the massive number of civilians killed in the Saudi airstrikes. That the U.S. involvement was never authorized by Congress was another big issue, though this was the first attempt by the Senate to actually challenge a conflict over War Powers Act violations. Even there, however, some of those opposed to tabling the bill were not expected to support the bill itself if it had been given a floor vote.
For over 40 years, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports Amazon became the second most valuable company in the world on Tuesday in stock value, surpassing Alphabet, the parent company of Google. Amazon's stock market value increased 2.7% by the end of the day, bringing its total value to $768 billion at $1,586.51 per share. The stock jump was enough to pass Alphabet, which fell 0.4% for a total value of $762.5 billion. The milestone comes days after Amazon founder and CEO Jeff Bezos topped the Forbes annual billionaires list with a total wealth of $112 billion, becoming the first American to surpass the $100 billion mark. Last month, Amazon surpassed Microsoft in value. Apple has a comfortable lead at the top spot with $889 billion in valuation. As neither company shows any signs of slowing down, Wall Street analysts predict at least one of them may soon reach the value of $1 trillion, which would be the first for any company.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com.
Reuters reports a package bomb blew up at a FedEx distribution center near San Antonio on Tuesday, the fifth in a series of attacks that have rocked Texas this month and left baffled investigators searching for what they suspect is a serial bomber. Officials said the package, filled with nails and metal shrapnel, was mailed from Austin to another address in Austin and passed through the sorting center in Schertz about 65 miles away when it exploded on a conveyor belt, knocking a female employee off her feet. It was the fifth in a series of explosions in Texas in the past 18 days that have killed 2 people, injured others, and left hundreds of federal and local investigators scrambling to find the perpetrator and a motive. Speaking through the media, officials have appealed to the bomber to reveal the motives for the attacks. Officials have also asked the public for any tips, offering a $115,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the culprit. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Reflecting on the persistent troubles it caused his sibling during childhood, local doctor Daniel Barrett told reporters this week about his average-looking brother, Kevin, who first inspired him to be a cosmetic surgeon.
As a kid, I remembered thinking that there was nothing I could do for Kevin. Watching someone you really love and care about suffer from a weak jawline or unsymmetrical features. It had a major impact on me.
And in this week's local news, a community theater gives the part of Blanche Dubois to Kathy Hamilton. In other news, a moviegoer manages to sneak candy past a teenage usher earning $7 an hour. A new app matches you with others in the vicinity who wasted $2.99 on the same app. And a Roman centurion crawling out of a New York City manhole cover is in for one wacky adventure. Having graciously spread my knowledge to the uneducated masses, I now return to the stately, elegant ranks of News Announcer Society. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. The toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. And the discussion about haircuts has turned into something here. The comment earlier was that Conan, does he have the alt-right haircut, which according to one article was called the, what was it, the high and tight?
Yeah, for some weird reason, Esquire called it the high and tight, which it's not a high and tight, it's a high and shaggy, or what?
They're referring to they're referring to it here in the LA Weekly as the high fade.
Yeah, that thing.
Which they say apparently the hipsters had adopted, and now the alt-righters have adopted, and there's a whole article in the LA Weekly.
Hippler
about
haircut.
Hippler. About who should be able to control this haircut. But anyway, that's led to somebody posting. There was talk about mullets after that, and then somebody posted a picture of old Daryl back when you were much larger, Daryl, than you
much larger. Yes,
you were what, 300-something pounds?
Well over. I don't really know what I weighed in that photo, but I do know that at the highest where I actually stepped onto a scale to know what the weight was, 317,
and you are now
187.
Amazing. So if you've never seen old Daryl before, if you've only seen him on the cam here in the last year or year and a half, then you should go to discord.lrn.fm. It's in the Free Talk Live chat room there, because I think when you join Discord, you can scroll back. I believe that
it's all there.
Yeah. So even though
which is another really great element of Discord is that all of the previous
no secrets
conversations
are kept
right
on Discord, including from Discord, because they it's their server. So it's not, if you want secret chats, Discord is not the place to go for that. That's why it's just a fun place to have chats with people who just want to enjoy each other's company, or not, because there is James, the guy from Arizona, on there too. So sometimes there's a very nasty chatter in the chat room, but for the most part, the people on Discord are pretty nice, and you can block anybody you don't like. So there's tools for that too. Check that out at discord.lrn.fm. All right, so we can talk more about haircuts if you want, or we can go on to other news. I did have a story about hoarders, specifically one hoarder who was found dead, according to the Telegraph in the UK, buried amidst her clutter, under her clutter. An 87-year-old hoarder, her remains have been found. This story posted today at the Telegraph. Under clutter in her home, as neighbors say they hadn't seen her for 4 years. Gaynor Jones was found dead in her cottage in Arberton, West Wales, which she shares with her daughter. After neighbors raised the alarm, the elderly woman was feared missing on Monday after emergency services found her daughter, Valerie Jones, collapsed under mounds of papers and was taken to a hospital.
Wait. All right, now I'm confused. So the neighbors haven't seen her for 4 years, and then they found her daughter covered with stuff.
So was the front door open, and they just see an arm? And help!
Yeah.
There's too many papers.
Where's this story from?
This is the UK, West Wales. Town called.
No, I think he means what's the source?
Oh, the Telegraph. He asked where is it from.
I meant both.
Okay, yeah, the Telegraph in the UK. It took police 4 days to find the human remains of her mother in another part of the cottage. Search teams used skips to remove furniture. What's a skip? Is that some sort of English
like a dolly, maybe?
Okay. To remove furniture and clutter from the home when they discovered the decomposed body. Believed to be in her 50s, the daughter was taken to Bronglaze Hospital and in Aberystwyth in a poorly condition. That's what they wrote here. Quote, poorly condition, and is believed to be suffering from severe dehydration.
Okay, a skip is... All right, go ahead, Daryl. You got it first.
A skip, UK English, is a large open-topped waste container designed for loading onto a special type of lorry, which is a truck, instead of being emptied into a garbage truck on site. As a wheelie bin often is, a skip is removed or replaced by an empty skip and then tipped at a landfill site or transfer station.
So it's the back of a garbage truck minus the wheels, and they pick it up later.
Right. Think of a dumpster.
Yeah.
Yep. But without a top, and then they just load it onto
four of those. Was that how many you said?
They loaded onto a lorry.
Multiple skips.
And there's different size skips too. So who knows how much crap was in this house, this cottage.
Skip to the loo, my darling.
It remains unknown. By the way, emergency services found the daughter on Monday after a tip-off from neighbors who'd grown concerned. It remains unknown as to how long the widow had been dead, but one neighbor said she hadn't had sight of the woman in 4 years. The pair are believed to have mainly spoken Welsh and did not regularly mix with their elderly English neighbors. One woman said, quote, I think the mother was born there herself, so the cottages have been in her family's hands for about a century. Now, you have to wonder how this daughter was living in a house, presumably for years, because, again, they said it had been years. Now, we don't know what the status of the decomposed body was, but did she think her mother just didn't come home one day and was wondering where she was, but didn't bother to report it to the police that her mother was missing? You know, oh, Mom, she's just on a crack binge or something, and we don't want to talk about it to the police now that she's been gone for 3 weeks. They describe it as a decomposed...
4 years.
Well, the neighbors hadn't seen her in 4 years. That doesn't mean that she fell underneath her own... It was trapped underneath her own junk for that whole time, right? Like, she could have been there for a year. It's just that the neighbors hadn't seen her. She might have been a recluse.
Decomposing... Like, that doesn't happen very quickly.
Well, no, actually,
happen.
If it's a nice cold environment, I mean, only have
a preserver.
Yeah, you have a couple of months of maybe some smell, and then after that, it's just blends in with all the other smells in this nasty house. Because I mean,
Who knows
what else
in
is
there?
rotting?
Dead rats, dead cats. Have you ever seen the Hoarders show?
No.
I've seen clips of the show, and there was one of them that it popped up in my Twitter feed, and it's like, all right, I'll watch this thing.
Yeah.
This woman is cleaning out her mother's refrigerator, and the mom's saying, you can't throw all of that out. I just bought some of those groceries.
Mom, it's black and rotting.
She pulls out a container of English muffins.
Oh, no.
You know, they come in the little the paper box thing. And she grabs one and and she's hitting it on the refrigerator, and it's not cracking or falling apart.
The hockey puck.
The muffin, not the refrigerator. The refrigerator also didn't crack. And then the mom's gets upset and storms off. And then the lady that apparently is with the TV show The Hoarders grabs this big glass bowl that you would make like a fruit salad in.
From the fridge?
No, from another. Okay. So the daughter is pulling stuff out of the fridge.
I see.
The TV show lady, she's in another part of the kitchen. Yep. She grabs this glass bowl, and there's like a very thick crust of bugs, and then one of them starts moving.
Just one bug.
Just one started moving, and she freaked out, and she made that same noise that you made.
It's horrifying. It's just so gross.
It's a very... This illness is very interesting to me because I personally have a lot of stuff myself.
Yeah.
A lot of tools, a lot of materials, but not filth. Right. I might have a shelf that's just nothing but, overladen with, tools and stuff, but there's no rotting cats on my shelf.
You don't have a collection of old garbage.
I don't have a sink full of just nothing but dirty dishes or a refrigerator. The bottom of my refrigerator is just nothing but
has
juice.
Your cilantro ever liquefied?
No.
I've been to your house before. You've had some great bonfires there, and I will say that it's not a hoarder's house. If it was a hoarder's house, there would be like paths.
But have you seen my basement?
No, I haven't seen the basement.
It's a little rougher down there, but in my living area where I am,
right? You can sit down.
Yeah,
There's you don't have to take stuff off the couch cushions in order to sit down on the couch. You don't have to like make your way through little paths in the house, which is how things like papers fall over on top of a 50-year-old woman and trap her almost to the point of death. It was likely that there was some large pile of newspapers that literally piled to the ceiling.
Keeping years and years of newspapers is just odd to me.
And then, you hit it the wrong way while you're walking by it, and then it all just comes tumbling over upon a frail old woman who probably doesn't get out of the house very much. She hasn't seen her mother in 3 years or whatever and didn't think to wonder where she was. Turns out mom is trapped and is dead underneath another portion of the house. There's more coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
This is Daryl W. Perry, host of Free Talk Live. This November, I'll be running in the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, and I've accepted a spot on Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. Since 1989, 353 people in the United States have been exonerated by DNA testing, including 38 who pled guilty to crimes they did not commit, and 20 of whom served time on death row. The Innocence Project provided direct representation or critical assistance in 180 of these cases. With your help, the Innocence Project can help even more people who have been wrongly convicted. As part of Team Innocence Project, I'm raising awareness about wrongful convictions and raising funds to help free the innocent. I've already paid the race registration fees. However, to secure my spot on Team Innocence Project in the New York City Marathon, I need to raise $3,500 by November 1st. You can support the Innocence Project and help me secure my race entry by going to run.freetalklive.com. The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free. We're talking hoarders. If you've got any experience with one of these people, or maybe you
are one of them.
That you are one of them. You're welcome to call in the toll, because a lot of times they're people that you love, if it's not you, that unfortunately are suffering from this just sick mental illness. Now, one lady's dead because of it. I mean, the statement here from Gene the Christian Anarchist in the Discord chat is the old lady, the 87-year-old lady, could have died of a heart attack, not necessarily being trapped by her stuff. But all that said, they did find her body in the stuff. Like, it took the police 4 days of cleaning out. I mean, I'm sure they had people helping, clean out. But the cleanup crew, it took them 4 days before they found the remains of this woman's mother. So 2 women living in a cottage in the UK, one of them in her 50s, the daughter, the other one, again, mother, 87 years old, purportedly. I mean, maybe she was 87 today, but was 85 when she died, because neighbors say they hadn't seen her for 4 years. So she was at the very least there for as long as 4 years, buried in that stuff, and as short as however long it took her to get buried underneath that stuff, which begs the question of, how did her daughter lose track of the mother that she was living with?
I thought Mom went out shopping, and sometimes she's kind of scatterbrained, and I thought that maybe she just didn't catch the loo or the train or something.
The loo is a toilet. I think,
she got
right?
stuck in a TARDIS, and she traveled around with the doctor. I'm not really sure how these things happen.
So here's the weird part. I mean, if it wasn't bizarre enough, what was going on with the hoarding? According to a story at the Daily Mail, because I went looking around for something with more details on this story, according to the story here, the daughter had allegedly told a local shopkeeper that Mom was living in a care home for the elderly. So why would she...
What sort of Norman Bates weird psycho stuff is happening
That's
here?
That's where it's going.
Right?
So it sounds like there's some other disorders involved.
Did she have a hand in killing her mother? I mean, because
maybe she thought the mom went to
So strange. Anyway, Zencash is something you need to look into if you're into cryptocurrency. That's something that you can hoard, and it doesn't take up space. In fact, holding on
they're not going to fall over and kill you.
No, they're not. Zencash.
But will the government come and kill you to collect your Zencash?
Well, if they don't know where it is, they can't collect it.
There you go.
And the nice thing about Zencash is it is a secure system. They have zero knowledge anonymity, so you can do anonymous transactions with Zencash. It's also very secure. They've got over 7,500 secure nodes, making it one of the most distributed and therefore safe node systems of any cryptocurrency. You need to learn more about Zencash if you're interested in looking into alternatives to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin may not be number one forever. And I'm not saying Zencash is going to take its spot. I don't know who is, but I don't think Bitcoin's got what it takes to stay on top forever. Zencash, they've got some better technology boiled in there, and it was created by voluntarists, people that love liberty. You can go and read the white paper and see it for yourself over at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. According to the story at the Daily Mail, after the police had found 87-year-old obsessive hoarder Gaynor Jones, who'd been dead as many as 4 years ago, but again, the body was just unearthed, so there hasn't been an autopsy to really determine yet how long ago Ms. Jones perished. But it took 4 days before the police were able to find her, after they found Valerie Jones, after neighbors had called with concerns. They hadn't seen Valerie, the younger of the couple, the daughter and mom, and so they did find Valerie. She was alive, although she had been trapped underneath collapsed debris in the home. And they don't actually show interior shots of the home in any of these stories, so the media either didn't get those shots or they're being nice. I suspect they didn't get them. They fought their way through a mountain of rotting junk on Monday to discover Valerie had collapsed under the debris. Neighbors believe the daughter had been sharing the house with her dead mother for many months or even years. Search teams brought in skips for the clutter in their hunt for the mother after concerns were swirled on social media. The neighbors say they were well known but were odd and rarely left their old stone cottage. The daughter, again, had told a local shopkeeper that her mom was living in a care home for the elderly. Valerie and her mom rarely spoke to neighbors after they moved into the quiet Welsh country town. And one woman who lives nearby says, quote, "I think the mother was born there herself, and so the cottages were in their family's hands for about a century. They were well known, but not seen about, and as the old Welsh family who kept to themselves. They were very reclusive. You certainly wouldn't pop over for a cup of tea. I guess you could describe them as odd. And nor could you have tea in a hoarder's house because there's no counter space to put a glass down onto to even serve tea into. You wouldn't be able to sit in a chair because every chair and every sofa is covered with detritus and junk, and it would be impossible for you to entertain guests. Usually the hoarders out there are aware that their houses are in bad shape. They must know at some level they've got a problem and they can't handle it. So usually when you see these shows like Hoarders, which do an amazing job of cataloging this disease and how it's manifesting in people's lives, they will say things like, well, if I go out with if it's a man or a woman or whatever, if I go out with somebody, we always go back to their house. I don't always come up with some sort of excuse as to why the person can't come back to my house.
I'm thinking because I'm at the ADAA.org, Anxiety and Depression Association America, and they have the symptoms and behaviors of hoarders. And I'm thinking that when you do watch that show, and I haven't, but I've seen the clips and all, you have two different types because you have the ones who are actually they're enabled to throw away possessions and are always looking for good deals and always think that what they have has value to it.
That's right.
Treasure. That's the big one.
Treasure.
And they're unable to get rid of it. Exactly. My precious.
Yeah.
And then you have another type of these guys who are just able to just wake up in the morning surrounded in filth and disgust and
it's both,
it doesn't bother them, and because I've seen both of these guys.
It can be both. I imagine there can be differences. Like one hoarder might be more towards one side, what you're talking about, than the other. But in most of the cases they show you on that show, at least, you see both of them. It's people that have the mentality of this is important to me, I don't want to throw it away, and you see that because they always try to bring in an expert. So they have like an organizing expert that comes in, and then they have like the garbage crew with the skids or whatever. They come in, and the No Job Too Odd or whatever they're called, 1-800-GOT-JUNK, I think is one of them, where they've got these pros that come in and just, they got the masks, they go in, they just unload a bunch of crap. But there's always the expert person, the organizer, who tries to work with the hoarder, like, all right, let's try to clean up your stuff. We'll make a pile for throwaway, a pile for, 3 areas or whatever, throw away, keep, and sell. And they have so much trouble getting rid of obvious junk. Not just like some tool that they might need someday.
Here's a marble.
But something like that. Or a pile of trash, like a box full of old newspaper or a box full of advertisements from the newspaper.
And that's where I'm getting at. I think that we need to differentiate between the two because there are different types of hoarders.
But the box will have rat poop in it.
That's what I mean. If it's actual trash that they're keeping around the house, then that's a lot different than keeping something that they think might have value. How can you imagine that old advertisements that have expired actually have any kind of value?
I don't know. It's crazy. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You see them try to answer questions like that, and they don't generally have good answers. And then if you push them, then they get angry. More coming up here in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want. Toll free here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up, looks like there's a new Snowden leak that has to do with Bitcoin and the NSA. Our chat room is talking about it right now, so we might get to that coming up here in a bit. Of course, you're welcome to call in and bring up what you want. Right now, discussing the issue of hoarding. And it is not a fun thing to encounter in real life, because either you're encountering it because you're like a property manager and you have to deal with cleaning up a property that people were hoarding on, and that's no fun.
It might be your mom's house.
Or it might be somebody that you love, and that's even less fun, because then you've got to deal with that person for the rest of their lives having this problem. And it is a huge problem, which can result in death, which is what we're talking about. It's why we brought it up here tonight. In the UK, an 87-year-old woman was found dead, trapped underneath her hoard. And they found her because neighbors were worried about her daughter, who hadn't been seen in recent days. Found the daughter trapped underneath stuff. She, thankfully, was still alive, severely dehydrated, but had not been trapped long enough to perish. It's not clear whether the mother had perished before being trapped under the stuff, or had perished because she was trapped under the stuff. Either way, the strange part of the story is the daughter lived in the house with the trapped dead mother for who knows how long, up to as many as 4 years, because one neighbor said they hadn't seen the old lady in 4 years.
And
So-
an article from the Express, UK Express, says that a website dedicated to, let me actually find the wording here, website dedicated to the history of Welsh ruins stated the cottage back in 2016 because the thing was so dilapidated, stated that the cottage was abandoned.
Yeah, indeed. They said the women did not come out very often. Another claim, according to Daily Mail, is that they lived without water except what they brought in bottles. So they didn't have running water in the home, allegedly. The story here, according to this, said that, you know what, I had something pulled up.
And by the way, those people do exist even in our country and our state.
People who live without running water?
And it's they're pooping in buckets and they're bringing their water in. And they actually have like jobs and stuff and they're going out and they have cars. But for whatever reason, they're able to get by without running water. And that I find it crazy.
Here it is. Another claim, they lived without electricity. This is what a neighbor said. They lived without electricity or running water, and the house was so overgrown you could barely see it. He said not only did they not see the older woman, but one neighbor said he hadn't seen either woman in 4 years. The house was run over with brambles. You could hardly see the building. I know the police had to rip down a lot of the growth just to get inside. Just crazy stuff. Neighbor John Richards, whose back garden gives on to the cottage home, said, quote, "When you think about it, it's true that she had not been seen, but they both kept to themselves." He said Valerie was a strange woman. She would never go shopping in daylight, only at night when it was dark. So if you want to comment...
It generally is dark at the nighttime.
Yep. If you want to comment on hoarding, you are certainly welcome to do so here as we go to Theo, who is on the line with us. This is Theo Chino, who's one of the observers in Arizona at the trial that I mentioned at the very beginning of the show. Theo, thank you for calling in tonight. You were at the trial of Thomas Morpheus Costanzo today?
Good afternoon, Ian. Yes, and I'm here with Westside of Phoenix as well, and we were watching the trial of Thomas Costanzo.
Tell me, let me bring our listeners up to speed real quick here on who Thomas Costanzo is. He is a man who has been involved with the libertarian movement there in Arizona for some time. He's an activist who was working to sell Bitcoin to local people there in the area. And at some point, the federal government took notice and decided they were going to raid his house last year on, I think it was April 20th, with a multi-jurisdictional task force of feds and local cops who went in there, tore his house apart, arrested him for felon in possession of ammunition. That has subsequently been dropped, but they've also charged him with, like, money laundering or something like that. I'm sure you know better what the charges are, but he's got some so-called financial crimes that he's facing down in federal court. He's the first person that I'm aware of to have ever gone and taken these charges to court. The feds have arrested other people for selling Bitcoin in the United States, but usually they take a plea deal, and a lot of the times it has to do with not just selling Bitcoin, but usually selling Bitcoin to somebody, some undercover agent who makes a claim like, I'm going to buy drugs with this. Can you sell me some Bitcoin? And then if they sell them Bitcoin, then they're assisting with that person committing a felony or whatever, and so that's part of the problem. So tell me what happened today.
So yes, the charges of operating with a money license were also dropped on Thomas. So that's the charge that is the one that is tied to the FinCEN case, but that's another story. So today.
So what charges is he? I'm sorry to interrupt. What charges is he facing? Do you know?
Today he's facing 5 counts of money laundering.
Okay.
The government removed the charge of operating a money business or a money transmitting business without a license.
Okay.
So that's that's the charge that is tied to the FinCEN, who says Bitcoin is money, therefore you need to be registered like a bank.
But they dropped that charge.
They dropped that charge.
Very interesting.
And the co-conspirator, Dr. Steinmetz, also libertarian here in Phoenix, got free because he got charged with Thomas of operating a business without a money business without a license.
Now that to me is very interesting because that was one of the most important charges to me in this case. given that I'm also somebody who sells Bitcoin on local Bitcoins, and others within the community here have done that as well. I won't name names, but there are people who've done this. It's not uncommon. Anybody who has Bitcoin they want to sell or has Bitcoin they want to buy can go and meet with the opposite party who wants to do the provide you with whichever service on localbitcoins.com. It's a global website. They're not an advertiser here, but I wish they would be because they've really got a great service. But the big question was, is this a violation? Is selling Bitcoin without a government permission slip any kind of violation of these so-called money transmitter laws? And my argument's always been that it's not, because you're not doing what's called money transmitting at any point in the process.
But according to FinCEN, you are. But
no,
he
you're
said
not. The reason why you're not is because you're not doing the definition. Go look up the definition of money transmission. It has to do with three parties, meaning that if you hire me, Daryl, if Conan wasn't in the room, and I was going to Conan's house tonight, you said, I need to give Conan $100. I'm going to give you $100 plus $5 for your time, and then you can go and give the $100 to Conan. I would then be a money transmitter by the if I did that as like a business, if I did that more often, I would be considered a money transmitter. With local Bitcoins, it's just one person selling a product to the same person. Unless that other person comes back and says, I'm buying these Bitcoins for another person, then you could argue that person was the money transmitter.
Well, there was a guy from Louisiana, Randall Lord, and his son, Michael Lord. Both were charged with conspiracy to operate an unlicensed money services business.
Did they take a plea?
Unfortunately, they did.
That's the problem. He didn't. Morpheus didn't take the plea, and they dropped the charge.
Right, but the charge that.
Go ahead, Theo, please.
Yeah.
The thing about the money transfer now is another guy in San Diego and in Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan, who their trial is coming up with the same exact thing about the money, the transmission without the money with the license. So those trials are coming up after Morpheus.
So there's actually other people who are going with not guilty and are going to take this to trial?
Yes.
Okay, good.
There is so it's Nose Father from San Diego, and Sultan Pepper from Brad Stected from Detroit, Michigan. Those are their local handles.
Good. I want to see the feds prove a case on this because I don't think they have a case, and that's why they dropped that charge. Go ahead, Conan.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to why it was dropped. Did they decide that no transmission actually occurred, or that there was no actual money being transmitted?
It could be either one of them.
So I would be curious which one it was, or both.
Theo, can you hang on to tell us more about what happened today?
Yes, absolutely.
More with Theo Chino. He's actually originally from New York with an organization called, I think it's Abolish the Bit License. If we get a chance, I definitely want to talk about that too, because that sounds interesting. But there's more on the way here about the Morpheus case. It's Free Talk Live. Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Are you one of the 70% of Americans that want to own your own business? Afraid to leave the security of your current job to pursue your dreams? I'm Pharmacist Keith. Dr. Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy, and myself want to show you a low-cost way to create your own business, working around your current job schedule, creating an extra income for you and your family by joining his crusade, spreading his message of better health. To learn more, visit radio.recordedvideo.com, radio.recordedvideo.com. That's radio.recordedvideo.com.
It's
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original, most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can dial toll-free here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Conan.
And Daryl.
We're talking about the Morpheus case that's happening right now. Thomas Costanzo is facing down 5 money laundering charges in a courtroom in Arizona. We've got one of the court observers on the line with us. We're going to continue with that interview here in moments. Of course, talk to you about whatever's on your mind as well. You can join us on Skype, Skype username LRN.FM, or jump into the Discord on-air call-in line chat room over at discord.lrn.fm. And also want to let you know about liberty.menu. It's a great website where you can actually go and connect with other liberty-friendly businesses. If you are an individual who is one who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, then you qualify to use liberty.menu. You can list your business there or businesses. You can also use the digital content category. So maybe you're a creator. You can put your content up there, links to it, and then also events. So if you're behind or promoting an event that's happening that other libertarians should know about, you can put that up there as well. And it's all based on a map and location. And there's reviews, of course, and ratings for each business there. And it is free to use liberty.menu. So if you have a business and you're a liberty-minded person, you need to be listed there. That way other libertarians can find your business and give you more business. So it's a no-brainer. Liberty.menu. It's easy to use, and you can use code FTL and get yourself a special Free Talk Live badge when you get your account, which, again, totally free. Liberty.menu. As we go back to Theo Chino from Abolish the Bit license in New York, you've gone and traveled over to Arizona to attend the trial of Thomas Costanzo, a.k.a. Morpheus. He is the first person that I'm aware of to actually take all the way to trial federal charges that have to do with money laundering, supposedly, and or the operation of a money transmitting business or violation of the money services businesses without a license, these sorts of charges. But as you pointed out, Theo, the money services business charges were dropped, and they're only going after him for so-called money laundering. Now, I presume today, given yesterday was jury selection, today was probably opening statements. What all happened today?
So, yes, yesterday was opening statement for the government because jury selection went pretty fast.
Okay.
So they got their 15 people, and the government started telling them what the story was. He's a Bitcoiner. He was advertising on localbitcoin.com, and he didn't care who he was selling to. He wasn't doing AML, know your customer. He wasn't asking any question. Therefore, he must be guilty. And that's basically the prosecution side in a nutshell.
Can I ask you a quick question to clarify? Ernest Hancock was on with us yesterday, and he was there for part of the day yesterday. He did not see the opening statement, but he mentioned that the government may have an allegation that an undercover officer told Morpheus prior to the sale of some Bitcoin that he was a Russian heroin dealer, and that's why he needed to buy Bitcoin. Did any allegations about that come up? Have you heard anything?
He actually came on the stand today. So we had a Russian heroin dealer, and the government made sure to explain to the jury that buying and selling Bitcoin was not illegal.
Mm-hmm.
He explained to the jury that trading Bitcoin is not illegal, possessing Bitcoin is not illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, nothing with Bitcoin is illegal. So the big question was, why did they start an investigation on him? And the Sergey guy said, he was dressed as all flashy. He had a Rolex in gold. He had gold chain. He was using his Russian accent.
And this was an undercover federal agent, just to be clear.
Yes, he's a federal IRS undercover agent.
IRS.
Yes. And so he was doing the whole flashy thing, and he was playing with his Russian accent, saying he's from New York. And what is interesting is at the beginning he wanted to do the first deal of a Western Union. And Morpheus said, no, I don't do Western Union, I do person-to-person.
Ah, okay.
And so they were explaining the difference between Coinbase, commercial exchanger, versus peer-to-peers. But people tend to forget that in 2014, 2015, commercial exchanger were Mt. Gox, who just failed and exploded. And Coinbase was just a small company starting up.
Okay, so we know that Morpheus, a.k.a. Thomas Costanzo, was a dealer on local Bitcoins. He sold Bitcoin in person. So he would actually go – so the way I've done sales on local Bitcoin is with a bank account where somebody will go and put cash in a bank account. He would actually meet with the person at like a McDonald's or some other place in public, take cash from the person, and then – it finished the trade by releasing the Bitcoins on the website. That's how he would do it, right?
Correct. And the government explained that doing trade on local Bitcoin is not illegal either.
Okay. That's what I thought.
So this is getting weird because nothing is illegal.
And it's clear that it's not a violation of money services business statutes because they dropped that charge. If it was a violation, they would have gone through with that charge.
Well, that's the thing. And beside me, I have Westside, who owns a lot of ATM here in Arizona, and he has a license, and he knows that better than I can explain it. I mean, if Westside...
Yeah, so I'm a local Bitcoin trader here in Phoenix as well.
Yeah.
So I was at the trial today with Theo, and the money the federal charge of operating an unlicensed money transmitting business is interesting because it has a tie-in to basically one of the qualifiers for that they can nab you up with. That is basically stipulates if you are not if you do not have a money transmitting license in the state at the state level, then in comes the federal charge. So that's state by state. So being Arizona, I think they dropped those charges on because Arizona is going to be one of the more difficult states to prove that Bitcoin should qualify as money transmission.
Well,
But
either
it's only
way, money transmission requires a third party. So when you are a Bitcoin machine operator, if you have an ATM that you are running and that ATM connects the customer to an exchange to purchase Bitcoin, then the ATM is acting as a money transmitter under the definitions of the federal, as my understanding. And again, I'm not an attorney, but I have had an attorney look at this and look at the federal statutes and come up with an opinion piece about it. If there is a third party involved, in that case, the machine is the third party, so therefore a money transmitter license is required. But if the machine is selling Bitcoin from its own personal wallet, then it's not a money transmitter in that case.
And that's what, I mean, this is why the definition of what is a Bitcoin becomes so important. And one thing that Thomas Costanzo argued left and right in his document, or actually the lawyer of Thomas, was that Bitcoin is an intangible commodity and therefore is like a banana. I like to call them intangible bananas.
Well, even a federal court recently ruled that Bitcoin is a commodity, right? Wasn't it a federal district court that recently ruled that?
And the IRS has said that.
In New York, the SEC versus Cabbage Tech, which is a guy from Staten Island, has ruled that the CFTC has standing because Bitcoin is a commodity.
Now there is one guidance that is clear, and that's FinCEN's definition. They specifically called out virtual currency and defined it. So according to FinCEN, you are considered a money exchanger, and therefore are required to register with FinCEN.
That's interesting, because I'd be interested in seeing the details on that, because according to my reading of the money exchange, the exchange aspect of the Bitcoin, or excuse me, not Bitcoin, but the money services business descriptions or definitions, is it has to do with foreign currency, not specific.
But they specifically issued guidance to directly address this.
Really?
And so it has its own set of rules, and so you wouldn't necessarily apply whatever it would be closest to, like you're saying, a foreign exchange. You don't need to go look there because they've made clear how it is to be defined. It's on FinCEN March 2013 guidance.
Okay.
So for Thomas, basically, that means, I mean, for Thomas, it's irrelevant now. He won that fight. And what was funny is when the government dropped the charge, he's like, no. You don't let them drop the charge. I want those charges in the document.
Well, right. He didn't have the money services business permission slip, right?
No, he was doing local Bitcoin. And so it was funny because no lawyer has never heard a client saying, we want the charges back on the document.
Yeah.
And so he's ready to fight it all the way.
Theo, was there more that you wanted to share from today?
Well, I mean, there is a few tidbits, but tomorrow there will be more.
If you have time, I want to hang on to you here. We're going to go into the news, and we'll come back to you in moments. So take a break. We'll be right back with Theo from the Morpheus case. He's been watching it as it unfolds in federal court in Arizona. There's more on the way here on Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com. The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, March 21st, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.26 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,314 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,983. Antiwar.com reports SJ Res 54, the Senate's War Powers Act challenge to the U.S. military involvement in the Yemen war, was killed on Tuesday by the Senate, meaning it will not get a floor vote. The bill noted that Congress never authorized the war with Yemen and would have compelled the U.S. to withdraw its participation. The bill did finally manage to get some debate in the Senate earlier on Tuesday, in what Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, one of the 3 co-sponsors, called a cowardly move. However, the Senate never voted on the bill itself, instead voting to table the bill without allowing a vote. The vote was 55 to 44. The bipartisan bill was presented by Senator Sanders along with Senators Chris Murphy of Connecticut and Mike Lee of Utah. The vote to kill it was largely split on party lines, however, with few Republicans resisting the leadership. Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee led the vote to kill the bill, arguing it would lead to a Wild West debate. The Trump administration largely resisted the bill, arguing that Saudi Arabia would be mad if the U.S. withdraws. The Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is in Washington, D.C. this week and met with a number of high-ranking senators before the vote. Opposition to the Yemen war rests heavily on the massive number of civilians killed in the Saudi airstrikes. That the U.S. involvement was never authorized by Congress was another big issue, though this was the first attempt by the Senate to actually challenge a conflict over War Powers Act violations. Even there, however, some of those opposed to tabling the bill were not expected to support the bill itself if it had been given a floor vote.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports Amazon became the second most valuable company in the world on Tuesday in stock value, surpassing Alphabet, the parent company of Google. Amazon's stock market value increased 2.7% by the end of the day, bringing its total value to $768 billion at $1,586.51 per share. The stock jump was enough to pass Alphabet, which fell 0.4% for a total value of $762.5 billion. The milestone comes days after Amazon founder and CEO Jeff Bezos topped the Forbes annual billionaires list with a total wealth of $112 billion, becoming the first American to surpass the $100 billion mark. Last month, Amazon surpassed Microsoft in value. Apple has a comfortable lead at the top spot with $889 billion in valuation. As neither company shows any signs of slowing down, Wall Street analysts predict at least one of them may soon reach the value of $1 trillion, which would be the first for any company.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports a package bomb blew up at a FedEx distribution center near San Antonio on Tuesday, the fifth in a series of attacks that have rocked Texas this month and left baffled investigators searching for what they suspect is a serial bomber. Officials said the package, filled with nails and metal shrapnel, was mailed from Austin to another address in Austin and passed through the sorting center in Schertz about 65 miles away when it exploded on a conveyor belt, knocking a female employee off her feet. It was the fifth in a series of explosions in Texas in the past 18 days that have killed 2 people, injured others, and left hundreds of federal and local investigators scrambling to find the perpetrator and a motive. Speaking through the media, officials have appealed to the bomber to reveal the motives for the attacks. Officials have also asked the public for any tips, offering a $115,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the culprit. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Shortly after Seattle area consulting firm Brink and Tiller received a resume from Corey Wilhelm, a college graduate with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in communications, Human Resources Director Robert Bradshaw immediately fast-tracked Wilhelm's application and spoke with The Onion about this exceptional candidate.
Well, the second I saw Corey's resume, I knew I had to send it straight up to our CEO. I mean, we're talking about an applicant who not only got into the University of Washington School of Communication, but also managed to graduate in 4 years with a Bachelor of Arts. This kid's only 22, but according to his resume, he already has experience in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. We're really going to have to move fast to get this guy.
Bradshaw went on to say that company heads could barely believe the candidate had 2 years of experience working at his college newspaper and had even taken a full 4 years of high school Spanish. Since receiving the application, Bradshaw claims the company has made numerous attempts to reach Wilhelm.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here, toll free, 855-450, free like freedom. We're talking about the sale of Bitcoin, and specifically the people that are being prosecuted for buying and selling Bitcoin, actually specifically for selling it.
Yes.
On a site called Local Bitcoins, where in the case of Thomas Costanzo, a.k.a. Morpheus, out of Arizona, he would meet up in reality, physical reality, to make a Bitcoin deal with people that he met through this website, Local Bitcoins. Now, this is a fairly risky act because you are dealing with a customer who, could theoretically rob you, right? Like you're in person with somebody, so they'll meet in public places with, video cameras, McDonald's or wherever.
Right.
And turns out somebody he met with was an undercover agent for the IRS. We've got Theo Chino, who's with us. He's actually in Arizona all the way from New York, and he's watching this trial, obviously very interested in it. It's Ian Conan and Daryl in the studio. And Theo, thank you for staying on through the news there. I know there was more that you wanted to share from basically the opening statements and maybe the very beginnings of the trial today. So Morpheus, again, those who are just tuning in, was charged with multiple things. Some of those charges have been dropped. Felon in possession of ammunition, that was dropped because they found ammo when they searched his home on the initial investigation about this. That was their excuse for arresting him in the first place. Also the charge that he was operating unlicensed money transmitting business was also dropped, and Morpheus begged them to keep that charge on so he could defend himself against it, but they dropped it because, in my opinion, they have no case. But they are going after him with 5 counts of so-called money laundering. And earlier and I know you had more you wanted to share, Theo, but I had another question for you. You said they brought in an undercover witness for the federal government who was the undercover IRS agent posing as a Russian heroin dealer, but you didn't get to the part, or maybe it didn't happen today, or you just didn't get to tell us about it. What were they alleging? When did this guy who was the so-called heroin dealer, when did he communicate, or how did he communicate to the victim here, Morpheus? How did he communicate, I want to buy some heroin, or I'm a heroin dealer and I need Bitcoin for heroin. Can you sell me some? What was that like? Did they talk about that? Do we have Theo? I hear the open line. Theo?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, we got you now. Did you hear the question?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So the thing is, we heard the whole sting operation. I mean, he had to go through every detail of why. and the only thing that they couldn't talk about was the dark web. They're not allowed to talk to the dark web.
Who can't talk about that?
The government. The government cannot bring the dark web, the Onion browser, the Tor browser, cannot talk about anything about that.
Under what when you say they can't talk about it, do you mean they can't talk about it in court, or they can't talk about it when they're talking to Morpheus in the setups?
They cannot talk during anything. They cannot bring it up. They're not allowed
During
to
court.
talk about it.
Okay.
In court.
Why?
So there was a whole set of hearing about that, about the bullet, about Bitcoin being money. They were hearing all over the place before today's trial. And so it's kind of funny because they're dancing around the notion, and they're talking about heroin because they cannot say dark web. Where do you use Bitcoin? You use around the dark web, et cetera, and they're not allowed to say that.
So what was it they were alleging, though? I mean, how did this undercover agent communicate to Morpheus that he was a heroin dealer? When did that come out?
In a car, 3 meetings later. They met 3 times, and on the 3rd time he goes, you know, my business is not really import-export. I deal with drugs, heroin. Are you okay with that?
Oh, my God. All right, so...
and Morpheus go, keep it quiet. I'm a libertarian. I don't care what you do.
All right, so that's unfortunate because I understand where he's coming from. Like, hey, we all want to end the war on drugs. Right on, man. But unfortunately, if somebody says to you, and this is not legal advice, this is just my suggestion. If somebody says to you, and you're going to sell somebody some Bitcoin, if they say anything about going to be using it for illegal purposes, you have to tell them, even if you need the money.
If you're going to sell them anything.
Even if you need the money real bad, you have to tell them, I'm sorry, I can't do business with you anymore. Bye-bye.
Exactly, and that's what Dr. Peter Steinmetz, the other person who got charged, he threw him out of his house.
Good.
And as you know, in Arizona, everybody has guns, so it helps a little bit. But so Peter Steinmetz did the right thing, and they brought it up during the trial that the other guy threw him out, but they couldn't say why because they want to bring that dark web. The thing is, why do you need Bitcoin? The only reason you need Bitcoin is to go on the dark web. And that's the line of the government.
Mm-hmm.
But so because they're prevented to talk about that, they only can show the meetings and all the recording about him accepting the undercover agent talking about heroin.
How is Morpheus going to beat this case? I mean, because it sounds like they've got – obviously the defense hasn't put their case on yet, so you don't know what their approach is going to be. But, I mean, this is pretty open and shut, it seems like. He agreed to help a known heroin dealer acquire Bitcoin. That's going to be a tough one to avoid getting found guilty on money laundering charges because that's the definition of money laundering. Is to assist somebody in cleaning the proceeds of illegal activity.
Well, that's the whole thing, and that's what we need to look at. But the thing is, there is the entrapment phase. Morpheus never went to them and say, "Oh, I'm okay with it." They kept, local traders are not rich. We're not making millions of dollars trading Bitcoin and local Bitcoin. So when you have a sale that says $70, it's like. On a $6,000 sale, you make $60. Okay, or how much? No, $600. That's not a lot of. It's not a lot of money. And the government kept ramping the thing. They made 3 sales to him before, and he's on the 3rd sale. They go, "Oh, I do heroin."
Yep.
But they already established a report with him to say, to make you my friend and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So. Morpheus never went to them and say, "I'm looking for you, and if you sell drug, come to me because I am discreet."
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna save him from a guilty finding in this particular case. I am interested to hear how the defense is going to take this one on.
How much money are we talking about that was exchanged? Total value.
The first time, I think it was $2,000, $3,000, $13,000. And $100,000.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that last one, that 100,000.
But the thing is, every time the government says, because there was cross-examination of every witness, and on his advertisement, say, "Oh, I can do $50,000."
Yep.
But the defense always said, "But wait a minute, did he have the Bitcoin? Because obviously, you wanted to do 20,000, he couldn't do more than 13. You wanted to do $6,000, he didn't have more than 4,000. So obviously, he's a salesman, a showmanship. A salesman will tell you, "Oh yeah, I'm a millionaire," but it's not true. Sometimes we're poor, we're piss poor, and we have a hole in our socks. But as a salesman, we have to look good. And so you're not going to tell to your buyer, "Hey, I'm a mediocre seller. I don't make money." You want to put your best profile and you embellish. And that's what I think they're going to be looking at is the embellishment. And in terms of embellishment, right now is the CI that says, "I have all my gold watch, I have my Rolex, and I'm flashy." And the first question they ask the CI is, "Does Morpheus look flashy? How did he come to the thing?" "Oh, he looked like a beat-up car. One time he came with a bicycle." It's like,
did they
why
go
did he come
after
with a
him
bicycle?
because he's a political activist, in your mind? Do you think that's the reason they targeted him? Because there are thousands of sellers on local Bitcoin. Why him?
Because he had the best rating. He was number one. He had the best customer service. He was available 24/7. He had a political statement. That's true. They also look at his political statement. And he said, "Oh, that's a good posse to test our law."
Theo, I didn't tell you in advance how long this was going to take. I just figured we'd play it by ear. If you want to hang on again, we can keep you because I got questions about the BIT license in New York. I know that you're involved in a movement to try to abolish it. I think that's interesting. If you got to go, I understand, so it's up to you. Do you want to stay or go?
I'll do another segment.
All
I'm
right.
here.
Theo Chino is with us all the way from Arizona outside of the Morpheus trial of Thomas Costanzo for selling Bitcoin on the internet. More coming up.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition. The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com. I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeen.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeen.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Ovaltine. Give your kids the nutrition they need to be their best. Visit us at ovaltineusa.com. Telling your child about healthy food choices is important, but showing her what to eat goes a lot further. Have her help create the grocery list, then bring her to the store with you. Picking out healthy foods together helps kids get in the habit of thinking about what they're eating every day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want here. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. In the studio with you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Conan.
And Daryl.
Also want to make sure you're aware of Save at Purse. You want to save big time on your purchases at Amazon. If you've got Bitcoin, then you can do that through saveatpurse.com. They make it super easy. You can save 20, 25, 30%. The higher the percentage you request off, the longer it might take to get the sale through. But, man, it works, and it works very well. We've been using it here behind the scenes at Free Talk Live for, I think, more than 3 years at this point. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Very handy service. I've saved thousands probably now over all the purchases that I've made in the last 3 years. It was so, if you want to pay full price, then go right ahead, pay full price at Amazon. They'll take your money. But if you want to save 20% easily, then go to saveatpurse.com. Saveatpurse.com. That's saveatpurse.com. As we continue here with Theo Chino, he's with us from Abolish the Bit License. That's his organization out of New York. But we've been talking with you about the trial happening for or against Thomas Costanzo, a.k.a. Morpheus, an activist in Arizona who was taken down by the federal government last year, is now facing 5 charges of so-called money laundering. Apparently, he made the mistake, in my opinion, of selling to a federal agent who was claiming to be a heroin dealer after the person had built rapport with him through a few successful sales of Bitcoin, meaning that Morpheus was selling the Bitcoin to the undercover agent. 3 sales in, the undercover agent in a car reveals to Morpheus and says, by the way, I'm actually a heroin dealer. And then Morpheus was, essentially, allegedly said that was fine with him and he would continue to sell this person Bitcoin. That, in my opinion, was the critical error and likely is what's going to sink him in this trial. I hope that his defense has some sort of amazing ability to convince the jury otherwise in this case. And kudos to Morpheus for having the courage to face this down in court, because most people do not have that level of courage because it's highly risky. If you get convicted in federal court, there's a good chance they're going to throw the book at you. But Theo, was there more from the trial that you wanted to share today? Did it get through the end of the government witnesses, or are they still in the middle of their witnesses?
Oh, they're still in the middle of their witness. We heard from 2 CI and one U.S. Postal Service. We heard, and we heard from a USPS computer forensic expert. So we heard that part.
And what was the forensics expert testifying about?
How he used the Celebrite application to open the cell phones and things like that, and whether the messages, the text messages, the Telegram application, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he was just testifying on that. They also, they testify on the SWAT team that came and raided Morpheus' house. They showed one of the pamphlet, Bomb Not Wars pamphlet, that's like, oh my God, this is so incriminating of him.
He's an anti-war activist. is what you're saying.
Yes, and so he was predisposed. Basically, they're trying to bring a case of predisposition. He was predisposed to do drug deals. And that's the whole thing about it. It's not just, the thing is he talked to the informant, like you said, if anyone get that, someone who said something like that, walk away.
Yep.
But at the same time, the thing is like, he was, it's your business, I don't want to know about it, basically.
Yeah.
And there were more items, but the government is not able to show it. So the thing is they want to tie the dark web. They don't care about Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
What they want is to make a precedent on dark web and Bitcoin.
But yet you said they're not allowed to talk about the dark web. Is that because the defense made some sort of successful motion to prevent the dark web from being discussed?
Correct.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
And so what is it's funny because it's a dance. We see them dancing on eggshell because the defense cannot open the door because at the same time that prevents the defense certain thing, but it prevents the government to show other things. Like,
well, right, because whether or not the dark web was involved has nothing to do with the sales of the Bitcoin in this particular case. Whether this guy is a heroin dealer on or offline doesn't really matter. He claimed he was a heroin dealer, and Morpheus ostensibly continued to sell him Bitcoin, which was the critical error. You know what, Theo? Exactly. Is it possible for you to call us nightly, because I'm interested in hearing updates on this case? Are you going to be attending the whole time?
Yes, I'm attending until the end, until the jury decide.
Okay, great. Would you mind calling, nightly and just kind of give us a rundown of how this is going?
No problem. I mean, Doug and I are, Westside and I are here.
I appreciate
that. We'll be attending every day.
So tell me briefly about Abolish the Bit License. You are a New York libertarian activist, and that means you're in the 50th least free state. It's a terrible place to live. I'm sorry to hear that you're still there, but the Bit License is one of the worst parts for Bitcoiners and cryptocurrency people there. It has basically driven business out of New York. It has resulted in some Bitcoin businesses refusing to do business with people who are in New York, because they don't want to jump through the hoops for the Bit License. And you're heading up an organization against the Bit License?
Yes. I mean, New York, I'm a New Yorker. So I came to New York when I was 3 months old, so I'm not living from New York. I left to go to school in Alaska. I live in California, but I'm a New Yorker at heart. So freedom is about not being uprooted from where you are from. So I will fight. And the Bit License is that. It's just the fact that they decided that without understanding Bitcoin, they're going to regulate without any understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what it did is he allows no competition. It creates company too big, like too big to fail, like Coinbase, like all those big companies, to say, hey, we're the only game in town. And so at the end of the day, that's absolutely unfair because Bitcoin was meant to be a peer-to-peer, for small business, from small people, to do whatever they feel like doing, and to decide what they want to invent with it. So I'm utterly against the Bit License.
Is your website abolishthebitlicense.org? Is that your site?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm working on it as fast as I can because there is so much information coming in from the left and the right, from all the direction that I'm putting it together as I go along. So
interesting. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to call in tonight and share with us, and I hope that they can abolish the Bit License in New York, but I wouldn't get my hopes up too much. Bitcoiners who love freedom really ought to consider making the move to New Hampshire, where we actually have essentially the opposite of the Bit License. The New Hampshire government passed a Bitcoin protection bill, or a cryptocurrency protection bill last year, that actually makes it so it is not considered money transmission to do crypto-to-crypto transmissions within New Hampshire. So we've actually got the opposite here, and that's one of the reasons why New Hampshire is the #1 most free state and is the true mecca for cryptocurrency. We'll look forward to hearing from you tomorrow night. Daryl, you're going to be heading up the show on Thursday evening, so you'll talk to Theo tomorrow about the latest. And thanks for spending an hour with us here on the phone tonight, Theo. I definitely appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
That's Theo Chino from abolishthebitlicense.org. He's down in Arizona attending the Thomas Morpheus Costanzo trial facing down 5 money laundering counts for selling Bitcoin, unfortunately, to an undercover agent who identified himself as a heroin dealer. It's going to be a tough case. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Tired of being censored by Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Patreon? Well, now you don't have to be. OneWay.com is the free speech and human-friendly social network built just for you. Stop feeding the beast. Every post you make on those evil, anti-human, anti-American perverted sites helps them destroy our families, our country, and our souls. Join One Way today and take back your liberty. Your free speech alternative is waiting for you at OneWay.com. OneWay.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Conan.
And Daryl.
And, of course, don't forget, you can join us online. Head over to freetalklive.com to enjoy the features on the site. We give them away to you. If you want to help support the show, you can become an amplifier for $5 a month. And you can use Bitcoin to do that, by the way, if you'd like. You can also do credit card. You can do PayPal. And that is $5 a month that we can invest into the show so we can get on more radio stations around the country, bring new internet listeners on board with the program, expose new people to the ideas of freedom. If those things are valuable to you, if what we do here 7 nights a week, 3 hours a night, is worth the price of a fancy cup of coffee to you, then please sign up for the AMP program, and you'll get access to cool perks like the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast, which doesn't have the commercial load that our normal podcast does, and other cool perks like the AMP-only Facebook group or the AMP-only discussions on Discord. So if you're a Discord user, our Discord is discord.lrn.fm, and you're an amplifier, you get access to the AMP-only discussion rooms that are available there. Get all the details from the AMP page over at amp.freetalklive.com. That's also where you can get signed up. Once again, that's amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, since we're talking about Bitcoin, actually one of our chatters on the Discord, a couple of our chatters had posted this article because we actually have a show prep section on Discord. So if you want to dump show prep suggestions in there, you're welcome to do that. But one of them was about a Snowden leak. We haven't talked about Edward Snowden in a while here. For those,
Who?
Yeah, for those unfamiliar, who is Edward Snowden?
Do you honestly not know who Edward Snowden is?
Yes, I know who he is. But we haven't heard from him in such a long time.
Somebody out there listening doesn't know who Edward Snowden is.
Right. No, just when Conan asked, I thought he honestly didn't know. Edward Snowden was the guy who almost 5 years ago wound up leaking information to Glenn Greenwald and several other journalists about
lots of info.
All kinds of spying being done by the NSA.
And CIA, I think, too, right?
I
believe
CIA may have been involved with some of these things where they were using something that has often been referred to as a dragnet, where they were not directly spying on Americans, but rather indirectly because, well, see, we have a target that's overseas somewhere, and so in order to know who's communicating with him, we have to wind up bringing in everything on the internet, and then we filter through and sort out and then figure out who's communicating with him and then figure out who's communicating with the person that's communicating with him. And therefore, it's basically every American, and there are no warrants.
Yeah, so he uncovered just loads of spying, illegal spying, called them on it, and then held back some of the documents to where when the government came out and denied it, he then provided more information to prove they were lying about the things that they were saying and just backed them into a corner.
He gave all of the info to the journalist.
True, and they
and
slowly
then
leaked
he
it out.
told the journalist, I trust you to release this.
Right.
And the journalists were releasing little bits. Right. Waiting on some kind of response from FedGov and then releasing stuff showing that FedGov was lying.
It happened in a way that made me think that they were doing it with Snowden's assistance, right? Because he knows the documents better
he had
than they
already
did.
given them the data, so it wasn't, now let me give you this data.
No. But I suspect that Snowden probably knew the data the best, and so he was like, well, hold this one back, wait and see what they say about document A, and then release document B, which then proves they're lying about what they said about. Anyway, let's go to your calls and thoughts. We can talk about what's going on with the NSA now working to track down Bitcoin users, according to TheIntercept.com. But first, we've got Mortified Penguin on Skype. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hey guys, I'm actually calling in as a follow-up from a call I'd made, I think about like 6 weeks ago. I had said that I'm down here in Virginia, and I had went to a local Libertarian Party affiliate meeting.
All right.
It was I saw a lot of things, kind of taken aback by some things. And I was kind of taken aback by certain things, like they had done a Pledge of Allegiance, and
oh God,
what part of Virginia was this?
I didn't disclose. I'd rather not disclose it.
Okay.
But it was a local, not the state or anything.
What was the attendance turnout?
It was
5.
Very small.
Is it 5?
No. It was like a couple dozen, I think. It was a couple dozen.
Really?
Wow.
I consider that to be large.
Yeah. How many of them are Republicans?
Like to know, just so that I can talk to the people that I know in LP Virginia and ask them WTF
about the pledge. You mean?
Yeah.
How many of the people in the audience or the meeting, the couple dozen, how many of them actually pledged allegiance?
Everybody, I think, and there was pretty much. I didn't look behind me, but anyways, so we talked about that, and I think it was you, Ian, you and Daryl, and Brother Will was on, and Brother Will gave me some real good advice in regards to that and everything. He said you got to go back. He's got a lot of experience. So, Brother Will.
Who has experience about what? I'm sorry.
Will Coley.
Will Coley, yeah, okay. Sorry, you're a little distorted. I don't know if you're too close to your phone. Maybe back away just a little bit.
Yeah, it sounded like half of a sentence totally got lost to where you mentioned me, Ian, and Will being on, and then you said something about some experience.
Yeah, he had a lot of experience. He said he's recounted a lot of experience down, in his organization and working with the Tea Party and everything.
Yeah.
And then with Liberty organizations. And he gave me some good advice. You guys were talking about it. But what I've noticed is there is a lot of, kind of Republican, I would say, and Tea Party crossover. And I did talk to some younger guys that I could relate to, but it seemed like everybody else were boomers. And I just don't think they can relate to, the principle of libertarianism in the same way. It was a lot of boomers that were kind of Tea Party crossovers. And I didn't see the principle. I could kind of start to eke out some principle libertarianism. I even heard the phrase, finally, halfway through, taxation is theft. Mm-hmm. But, that's what I was looking for. I was trying to feel it out this time because they had a little more open agenda. I participated. I spoke. And, I had some side conversations and everything. And I really think I made some headway and just kind of, networking a little bit there.
Okay. All right. So it wasn't a waste of your time.
No, I had to go back because, frankly, like I said, it skewed towards a much older boomer audience.
Yeah.
And like Brother Will Coley said with his he's recounted conversations that he's had with his mom. I've had the same conversations with my mom. That generation grew up with the pledge. They grew up, standing for the anthem and saluting the troops and everything.
So did every other generation since then. I mean, the Pledge of Allegiance is still in classrooms today, so it's fairly indoctrinated.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but the boomers experienced the American dream. They're the entitled ones. They've got everything, and they didn't experience any real hardship, which, by the way, is coming on the horizon.
How often does this meeting happen? Is this monthly?
I think they meet bi-monthly.
Bi-monthly, so every 2 months.
No, not bi-monthly, like every twice a month, I guess.
Okay, because bi-monthly can mean either one.
Okay.
Bi-weekly can mean twice a week or once every 2 weeks. It can mean either thing.
Yeah, so
it's English for you.
I had to go back. I felt like I had to go back, and I really I just wanted to really feel it out and kind of network while I was there. But There's definitely a generational divide, strong generational.
Well,
divide.
Older, baby boomers are more likely to be close to or in retirement, right? So they probably have more free time on their hands, whereas the millennials, Gen Xers might be more likely to be working. Too tired to go to a meetup at Bennigan's or wherever it is that they're having these things, to where people ultimately, in a lot of these cases, just complain and they don't actually ever do anything. Now, was this Libertarian Party actually planning activities? Were they doing outreach?
Not so much, just some basic political things with the city council and they different things. I'm still getting into it. I should be signing up to the newsletter and everything.
All right. Well, feel free to keep us in the loop as to how your continued experience goes there. Sounds like there was some disappointments initially, but you did manage to connect with some people that you felt like you could relate to. Thank you for the call tonight, Mortified Penguin. I appreciate that. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. If you want to join us here, if we get the chance, we'll tell you more about the NSA tracking down Bitcoin users. And you can bring up whatever's on your mind here. 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, this is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
I tried other brands, but I came back to my Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck or back or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
See why our homegrown small business at sunny-bay.com has tried to help people just like you. Get your Sunny Bay heating pads at sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com or call 253-678-1361 for hot and cold therapy. sunny-bay.com.
Seniors thunder into a local high school parking lot like coalition forces entering Baghdad. A substitute teacher just needs to make it to her car before breaking down in tears. And a college freshman tells his roommate there's no need to hide his masturbation from him. And now a week in review that truly requires no introduction. The nation's students announced this week that they have reluctantly agreed to give the American education system yet another chance, saying they hope educators keep their promises of smaller class size, better school supplies, and intensified efforts to raise the country's international math ranking. The nation's students vowed to give the education system one more shot, despite claiming to have been burned many, many times in the past. In other news, a man overcomes alcoholism without the help of Jesus, and an outcast student and a lonely teacher have begun a somewhat endearing sexual relationship. And that was a free lesson in top-shelf journalism. For more news, videos, and reminders of your insignificance, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us here in these remaining moments. Enough time for you if you dial now to the toll-free number 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Also, Skype username at lrn.fm on Skype. We've also got the Discord at discord.lrn.fm, where people have been chatting all night long here so far. Sometimes people chat well into the night and before the show. It's there 24 hours a day for your chatting convenience with other listeners and callers to the show. You'll see some of the regular callers that you're not regular like Sarah, but more irregular like Gene the Christian Anarchist. Names that if you're a longtime listener of the show, you'll recognize some of them hanging out together in the Discord chat over at discord.lrn.fm. Another longtime listener in our Twitch chat says, Free Talk Live on Twitch is brilliant. Love it. We're glad that you're there watching us on Twitch. Twitch is our newest method of distributing Free Talk Live. We've been doing this show, for those of you who are new watching on Twitch, we've been doing this show since 2002. Added a video component several years later, ended up on Livestream, Ustream, YouTube, and now we're on Twitch. And I think Twitch is probably the best home that we've had thus far. It's got a built-in community that's pretty dedicated to it, and it's allowing us to reach new people that otherwise might not have found Free Talk Live. So if you want to check us out, it's in HD. So we're still on YouTube, but that's in lower resolution. If you want to see the best quality video out of the studio, Twitch is the way that you do that. You go to twitch.lrn.fm during our live hours. You can go and play back archives, but Twitch only holds archives for like 2 weeks.
Yep.
So it's more of a live streaming platform than it is other things. So twitch.lrn.fm, head on over there. And please follow the channel. And if you get the Twitch app and you turn on notifications for us, then on your phone, whenever we go live, you'll see a notification pop up to let you know about that. You can also get email notifications if you prefer that. You can get emails whenever we go live that way too. So it's a handy way to be aware of when Free Talk Live is on the air. And again, we're live every night at the same time, but it's nice to have a notification to pop on and remind you about that as it's happening. So follow us on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm. And if you are a if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you get one free Twitch subscription. So you can actually gift that to Free Talk Live or give it to the LRN.FM channel, and then we get like $2 or $2.50 from Amazon that they would normally keep for themselves, that they instead shoot over to us because you took the time to give us your Twitch Prime. You can do that from the main page over at twitch.lrn.fm. Let's go to Dave Ridley. He's on the line with us here. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, so I guess the Wall Street Journal is reporting that they've discovered a lone bureaucrat in the FDA who has single-handedly created 200 regulations.
Oh no!
No confirmation by the Senate, not a person it's in charge of the FDA or anything like that. And that's to me that's like reason number 435,000. For New Hampshire to leave the union, right? Because
it's funny that you bring that up, because right now the chatters in our Discord are talking about when is New Hampshire going to secede from the United States.
Well, probably not soon, but all I can do is keep it on the agenda. And I've become sort of a regular on this radio program in Manchester. And
which one?
I was calling it. It's called Matt Connerton Unleashed.
Oh, okay. Now, is he on the radio now, or are you talking about his television show?
He's got a radio show I call into. I'm not sure if he still has a television show.
Okay,
cool. I've been a guest host on his television show, but this is his radio show. It's FM.
Right on.
But he to his credit, he's got it's a diverse group that hosts the program. It's not just he's a kind of a libertarian, but he has John Hopwood, who's more of an authoritarian Democrat. And Hopwood and I are sort of friends, but he also hates what I think. And I was talking about this to that show today, and he went off on me so strongly. And then I guess when I had a chance to rebut him, he refused to listen, put his headphones down, and the host had to make a disclaimer that John doesn't speak for the show.
Were you actually in the studio, or were you just calling in?
No, I was just calling in.
I see.
But it's it's useful to. This is the beauty of the independence concept, is that it triggers people. In fact, he used the word trigger. He said, "Dave, you've triggered me," and he wasn't joking. He was like.
Oh, poor baby. Got triggered by the secession talk.
Well, I don't know. He gets angry at people sometimes do.
So what's the response that you get? Because we were actually just talking about you calling local talk shows before you went on the air. It was during the break. Conan and Daryl and
You're not supposed to mention break.
No, it's the rule is you're not supposed to say
Dave, I hear you all the time here in New Hampshire. I hear you on all the stations.
Yeah,
so.
he's a regular, man. He's got the list, literally has a database of every radio station with a talk show on it, and the phone number to call in, and the hours on which they are live, and he will call about secession or whatever issue. What's the response that you get, not just from the hosts of the show, but subsequent callers? Do you ever hang around to listen to any reactions, or you just pick up the phone and dial the next show?
I try to listen when I can. It does try. Sometimes people will call in, and again, that's the beauty of it. You want people to attack your idea, because otherwise people aren't talking about it at all.
Yeah.
So they say that there are many, like there's like a Protestant sect, during the Reformation, that all of their ideas were completely successfully destroyed, and they were killed apparently or something like that. But except one thing survived, and that was the written attacks against that sect, written by the officials, and that's how we know they existed. So it's just it's good to have verbal attacks on you.
Yeah, you had the agnostics who were against Christianity. They were the only reason we know who they were is because of the books that have been, the Dead Sea Scrolls and whatnot, have been drug up.
Well, the reason I asked the question was because in my experience doing outreach about secession to people from New Hampshire, they like it. They like the idea. They love New Hampshire. They don't have love for the federal government, and I've seen faces brighten up, lighten up, smiles come across people's faces when they look at the propaganda that I'm handing out from like the Foundation for New Hampshire Independence, which is advocating for New Hampshire to secede from the United States. Obviously talk radio callers are a different group, right? They're self-selected, whereas if you're on the streets handing out flyers, you're just hitting anybody who will stop and take a flyer. So you're probably more likely to get hostile callers. But do you ever hear people saying, yeah, that Ridley, he's got a great idea?
Not as much, but I hear it. Like for instance, when I actually brought it up to Governor Jindal from Louisiana, and also former Governor Sununu, the senior, from New Hampshire, and both of them did have that reaction. They were just amused; they weren't angry about it, and that's also a good reaction to get. People. Russell Canning reported that he went to. I guess one time he went and conducted a poll at a Republican meeting or something like that for his paper back when he ran the Keene Free Press. And he said all the natives were in favor. Like anyone that was from New Hampshire, yes, out. And the only people he had trouble with were some of the Free Stater politicians, He said you could just see the gears locking up in their mind as they were trying to decide how to answer this question without ruining their tiny political careers.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. That's been my experience handing out these flyers at the county fair or wherever where you're just reaching a general audience. You're more likely to reach people who are in some cases from New Hampshire. If they were from New Hampshire, it seemed like they were in favor of it. And I hope that we can see more action. I know the Foundation for New Hampshire Independence recently sent out a fundraising email, and I'm like, well, what have y'all been doing? I want to hear. Tell me the success stories. Give me excited.
What have they been doing?
They didn't include any of that in the fundraising email.
They didn't respond to your email where you asked them?
I didn't write them back. I was just like, why are you emailing without a pitch of hey, here's the cool stuff we're doing. We need funding for it. Instead, it was just...
all I want them to do is just twitch, and I will talk about it. I will publicize it for them. And every time they've done such, I have done such for them that I know of. But yeah, I haven't heard a thing from them.
The fact is, we need more libertarians in New Hampshire. We need them sooner rather than later, and we need more people active on this issue, active on the secession issue. We don't have enough people who are here. We got a guy in the Discord chat who asked me the other night on a private message. He's now asking in the channel, when's New Hampshire going to secede? And I said it's probably going to be a while. And he said, I thought you guys were farther along. And then I said, dude, what did you think 2,000 people were going to be able to do? Because not all 2,000 are active on this one issue. It's probably 20 of them.
And sadly, this is not going to be one of those issues where New Hampshire is first in the nation.
No, we're not even going to be. We're not even first on marijuana. So we've got
the first in the nation only applies to the damn presidential primaries, and that's it. But they love throwing out, we're first in the nation.
We can talk more about the NSA maybe on Friday night. Let's hold that one for when Chris is with us on Friday, because he's our total tech guy. Daryl's in tomorrow night for the Thursday edition. Conan, thanks for stopping in here this evening. And Dave Ridley, thanks for being on. Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. And we'll see you tomorrow online. In the meantime, you can join us over at freetalklive.com. And if you're a libertarian and you want to be effective, you got to move to New Hampshire. Go to 101reasonsfilm.com to get reasons why.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene and the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, March 21st, 2018. Silver's trading at $16.26 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,314 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,983. Antiwar.com reports S.J. Rez 54, the Senate's War Powers Act challenge to the U.S. military involvement in the Yemen war, was killed on Tuesday by the Senate, meaning it will not get a floor vote. The bill noted that Congress never authorized the war with Yemen and would have compelled the U.S. to withdraw its participation. The bill did finally manage to get some debate in the Senate earlier on Tuesday, in what Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, one of the three co-sponsors, called a cowardly move. However, the Senate never voted on the bill itself, instead voting to table the bill without allowing a vote. The vote was 55 to 44. The bipartisan bill was presented by Senator Sanders along with Senators Chris Murphy of Connecticut and Mike Lee of Utah. The vote to kill it was largely split on party lines, however, with few Republicans resisting the leadership. Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee led the vote to kill the bill, arguing it would lead to a Wild West debate. The Trump administration largely resisted the bill, arguing that Saudi Arabia would be mad if the U.S. withdraws. The Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is in Washington, D.C. this week and met with a number of high-ranking senators before the vote. Opposition to the Yemen war rests heavily on the massive number of civilians killed in the Saudi airstrikes. That the U.S. involvement was never authorized by Congress was another big issue, though this was the first attempt by the Senate to actually challenge a conflict over War Powers Act violations. Even there, however, some of those opposed to tabling the bill were not expected to support the bill itself if it had been given a floor vote. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Amazon became the second most valuable company in the world on Tuesday in stock value, surpassing Alphabet, the parent company of Google. Amazon's stock market value increased 2.7% by the end of the day, bringing its total value to $768 billion at $1,586.51 per share. The stock jump was enough to pass Alphabet, which fell 0.4% for a total value of $762.5 billion. The milestone comes